welcome to Plat Chat Overwatch episode 223.
Plat Chat Balatro. New show. Plat Chat Balatro.
We're pivoting. Poker is so successful, so why not kickstart a podcast in Balatro?
We're all gambling our lives away anyway.
Does this count as an esport?
It should be, I think.
It should be an esport?
It should be, yeah.
There's
I'm on a flush run right now.
Yeah.
I might actually lose this run right now.
Plat Chat Poker? Yo, I'd be down for Plat Chat Poker. I'm just saying. But
oh, and then we can get gambling sponsors because it's gambling already. Look at that.
Oh my god.
9 head.
We can
wait.
gambling
Sponsors. Wait a second. That'll be sick.
This game has less gambling than like your average PvP game.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, nothing gets me going like the Reinhardt probabilities. When I drop a nerf shatter, what are the probabilities? I'm gambling with my shatters. I'm gambling with my pins.
I mean, like
that's really
boxes,
just why I like Reinhardt. I'm a
love
gambler.
Gambling.
At least this game doesn't have microtransactions.
Please sponsor us. Please.
Wait, I mean, come on now.
Can you imagine pay to win Balatro? Imagine.
Dude, the DLC packs, you buy little
integrity.
packs and you get a Joker or something. That would go
All
hard.
right, let's talk about Overwatch. I like Balatro too, but let's talk about Overwatch.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
Jake.
Let's talk about
Jake.
Overwatch.
I
You're
hate
missing
fun.
something. You're missing something. Jake, before we talk about Overwatch, we gotta talk about our favorite sponsor. It's
How
right.
can I forget?
It's Manscaped. You
Let's
can't forget,
go.
Jake. You can't forget. And
Get the shirt, AVRL.
we got our own Manscaped style. Look at the AVRL. Look at AVRL.
Yay!
Yay! There we go. There we go. We got shirts. I got literally like shavers in the background, just presented right there.
They look so in focus. It looks
Yay! Look.
so
Those are two packets right there. There you go. Lawnmower.
Stop shaking it.
Wait, there you go. Solomon.
It's
Solomon.
in the box.
Adam shirt. We say balls.
Wait, Solomon face reveal? Solomon hand reveal? Hand reveal, Solomon?
Hand reveal, Solomon. There you go.
Oh,
We did actually save ball with our Wrecking Ball platform.
Look at that production setup. That's
Wait,
slick.
wait a second.
That
Let's talk
is
about
pretty
that.
sick.
We got a true
Solomon's
professional
going for
on
that.
us.
Solomon's
Talk
going for
about
that.
that. What is that? That's the new
Whoa.
stream deck?
Whoa!
Where's the mute Johnny button? I know there's one.
Hey, hold up! Don't do that! Don't do that!
Where's the rocket? Do you have a button just for the rocket?
No!
Do you have a button just for the rocket or no?
Holy shit. Okay,
Oh, that's the rocket button. That's the rocket button. Okay.
The
okay.
rocket button.
Wait, so can you actually hear me now? Is it over?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I'm muted.
I hope you are permanently
Oh, I'm actually here. I think this is episode 223. I don't know. I forget.
So it is.
We've done so many at this
223,
point.
baby. I remember
Something
because
like
last
that.
time it was 222.
Oh, yeah, we made the
that's right.
joke.
That's right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
We were
Anyway, call it what you want. Knee knockers, golden nuggets, thigh slappers. But our friends at Manscaped refer to them as the boys. Not every man has children, but every man is responsible for the two boys below the waist. When your little guys have more hair than they need, trust Manscaped for all your grooming dreams. Boys need love too, so join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and use code PLATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. You heard it here first. The boys are back in town. Every man knows how scared he can get when going for a close shave below the waist. That's why I trust Manscaped for all my sensitive areas. Introducing the Lawnmower family, including the Lawnmower 3.0 Plus, the 4.0 Pro, and the 5.0 Ultra. Yep, 3 ball trimmers. Isn't it awesome? Boys need love too, and for this reason, each trimmer is equipped with skin-safe technology and an LED spotlight and unique features for different grooming needs. Oh, these babies, they're waterproof too. Need I say more? For the basic trim, go with the 3.0 and work your way up to the 4.0 plus the 5.0 for the ultimate grooming experience. Take it on the go. Manscaped has you covered. These trimmers come with a travel case and even a travel lock feature to avoid any accidental powering and or weird looks in the airport. This right here is on the cutting edge of cutting pubes. Upgrade your ball trimmer and your life. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code PLATCHAT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code PLATCHAT at manscaped.com for the best your boys have ever looked. Trust Manscaped. Skin safe technology does not guarantee cut protection. All right, guys. Now, Solomon, what I need you to do right here is you need to end the timestamp right here, okay? So usually we have like a timestamp and then it like goes into the next topic. So you can put the timestamp right here. The next topic we have, it's going to be FACEIT hero bands something. You'll figure it out, someone. It's something about hero bands. That's what we're going to talk about next. But you need to have done the timestamp like 15 seconds ago. So now that when people are actually listening to this, I can call you out for skipping the sponsorship ship in the VOD, okay? Use code PLATCHAT at manscaped.com for 20% off free shipping. I caught you skipping the ad, okay? Support the podcast, go back, watch the read, and then use the code, all right? Now we can move on. Anyway, let's talk about FACEIT League.
Type in the comments how many times the rocket came up. That way we know you watched. Let us know how many times the rocket came up.
There you go. Look, really though, if you use code PLATCHAT, you do support the podcast and us making the content right here. You support Solomon, AVRL, your favorite content creators. So there you go. Not all your favorite content creators, but us specifically. Not all of us. You support all of us, and maybe a little bit of Kurt and Sideshow and all of that. So maybe a little company stuff like that too. But you support us anyway. So. Interesting today. We record on Monday. Yiska did tweet out, or wrote an article actually, about a little topic that we have here. FACEIT League, the FACEIT League is kicking off. Not OWCS, but FACEIT League. Are strongly considering implementing hero bans as soon as next week. So we had the big hero ban debate, and now we finally arrive at the point where FACEIT League are strongly considering implementing hero bans as soon as next week. They go on into the article and explain how it would work, that they've been talking to a lot of different teams and players, it seems like. And the way it would work is that if you are the lower seed, you actually get to ban a hero first, and then the favorite seed, they get to ban one each. So you ban one hero each, and then it's like loser picks, like whoever banned first or whatever. So you ban one hero per map. That is the rumor anyway. So it's not too much, but it's an idea, and they've been toying around with it. So, Jake, I know you're really passionate about hero bans. We both were. I think we were on the SVB podcast talking about it. So, what's your gut reaction here?
They finally listened to me. This is the system exactly to the T that I've been fighting for a long time to try as an experiment to see what happens. This is, I think, the perfect way to start with hero bans. This is, in my thinking, this is the most small thing the smallest change you could possibly make. That has competitive integrity. That's not like really high potential for things to go wrong, or for like it's like too strong to hit a hero ban. For me, I think this is super interesting. I think this is the best system it could be. I'm excited. I want to try. I wanted to see what happens. I think nobody knows. This never. Can you
explain the system? Like, I don't know if it's explain the article.
Yes, I can explain.
Yeah, go.
So this is exact because I've been arguing for this for years. So I'm very confident. All right. So step one, before the map, you both ban a hero. Actually, I didn't see whether they had it maps like redone every map, or is it for the whole match?
No, it's for each map.
Per
and
map.
Then you get the loser's pick. You get to. And I think both teams just ban one hero for each map.
It's a ban for both teams, or only ban for the opposite team? Only affect the opposing team, right?
Only affect the opposing team.
That's weird. I think that's weird.
Okay, that is actually not what I. Okay, well, Sag, that's not what I hoped for. I think that's
Jake just went from clueless to aware.
I don't know though. Actually, it could be okay. I wanted to not do
Cassidy, and neither team can play Cassidy. But if one team bans Cassidy, only the opponent can ban Cassidy. Or you see what I mean?
Anyway, no, yeah, it's not exclusive. So you could both ban it for the other hero. So if you both ban Sojourn, then no one can play Sojourn. But I guess this would be if you ban Sojourn, only you can keep playing it.
Yeah.
The downside of this is it won't change any. It won't be interesting if there's an OP broken hero. If there's like downside of this is I'm pretty sure both teams just have to ban Tracer or else they lose. So because whatever's the best ban, the most strong hero in the game, which usually is Tracer, or maybe it's Lucio or something like that. I feel like there's a little, maybe not in 100% chance, but there's a decent risk in my mind that both teams always ban the same hero because they both have the same read of like, if you can't play Lucio and I can, I get to win. And so we both have to ban Lucio or else we risk.
We should explain the system as it is right now, right? So we have some context to work with so people sort of understand where the system is. So if I read this correctly, and this is my first time seeing the article because this article was fresh, guys, at least for us recording day. This article dropped like 4 hours ago or something like that. So per map, each team bans one hero, and I actually don't think the seeding matters. They say something about seeding where like maybe your lowest seed you go first. I don't think that actually matters at all. If you're both doing one ban each and it only affects the opposing team.
No, if you get to react and you do the second ban according to what the first team.
Well, okay, there's some advantage, but like I don't think it's a gigantic
reactionary advantage.
No, it's huge to go second. It matters to go second. Okay, but it's like a high seed, low seed
on me right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with Jake. So we're both shitting on you, April.
No, it really matters to go second. It's a huge deal because like if you ban if you
Okay,
ban
maybe not a huge
Lucio,
deal, but it's a deal.
I don't ban
Okay.
any rush heroes anymore because I know
Yo,
you
I'll
can't
meet you.
play
I'll
them.
meet you in the middle. It's a middle deal. Okay, we'll meet in the middle.
It's a middle
I'll
deal.
settle in the middle for you guys.
It's a deal,
middle.
right?
It's a standard deal. It's not a big
All
deal.
right.
It's
Don't
a
want to
standard
get
deal.
bogged up in the importance of
Okay,
banning
we're
second.
getting-
But
yeah, we're
yes,
getting-
carry on,
We're getting
Abel.
bogged up in the deals right now. So
Carry on.
I don't know why I'm explaining. I'm just explaining it now. Okay, here we go. So each team bans one, and then the next map they do a different set of bans, and you cannot ban the same hero twice in the middle of the same series. So if both teams ban Sojourn map 1, Sojourn is now guaranteed to be available for the rest of the series, no matter what. And I think that's it. Like, there's no protect system, right? You don't protect the hero first, so you just straight up ban. I actually think that's maybe a mistake. I prefer a protect system so that like heroes like Tracer can be protected.
No, but
and-
you're auto protected from just you can't ban them more than once. So in the end,
I
80%
suppose.
of the
Actually,
time, Tracer.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. It is auto
like
protected.
minimum. So
I'm
this
just
is
gonna leave.
like a
Jake
replacement
keeps,
for
Jake keeps trying to fucking shit on me today. I'm just gonna fucking leave. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We're already recording a podcast with Flash and Spilo does to a man. We're getting seconds here of AVRL also after there's already done the group of podcasts.
Jake should have just explained this
we're
format.
getting
Yeah,
some
all right,
with
let me-
AVRL.
so it's my understanding that like the only weird thing is that you only ban for the other team. So if there is a super OP broken hero, at least actually it will still be interesting, I think, because you'll at least be able to only ban that hero on one map. So you'll pick if Sojourn is the best hero in the game and everyone has to play Sojourn all the time, you'll ban Sojourn on like the one map you think is the most valuable Sojourn map. So I think it will be interesting in that way. And since you can't reban the hero, even if the problem is if you could reban the heroes, then if Venture is really good, then like you'll never play Venture because people just ban Venture the whole series. Or you're playing against like Rocket, and Rocket's so good at Tracer, and so you ban Tracer for 5 maps, and it's like, well, that kind of sucks, that you can just fully block like an individual player from their best combo. So I think all those systems are actually both really valuable.
But do we feel like the banning is like impactful enough if you can realistically only ban one quote unquote problematic hero in a series, like one map? Okay, cool. Let's say Malga's broken. You ban Malga map 1. Now what? Now Malga, you just play Malga for the rest of the series? Like, what are we doing? Like, it just seems like it's not having the greatest impact. It depends what your goal is, right?
Well,
if your goal is to
promotes
remove problematic
variety
heroes
throughout the series, right?
So if that's the goal, if the goal is purely variety, then maybe it works for that. But like, I'm also looking from the perspective of like, how do we like give more power to the player base or the teams, etc., to affect the patch notes of their own accord? And the way that they do that is through your own banning phase. Like, I mean, you go to any other esports, talk about League of Legends, something crazy comes out, it might just be an auto ban. You have 5 bans per side. Okay, maybe we don't need that many bans. Point is, it's a ban that lasts, and they do play multiple games, but the length of one game is like pretty long. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you really want to get rid of a hero or really want to get rid of a character, you can effectively do that in other games with banning systems. Maybe I think in Overwatch they're just trying to be like very careful. They don't want to like go too hard. They don't want to like push this turn the knobs too high to start with. They're just trying to start it slowly, and then maybe we can add things in. But I can see this maybe not having the complete desired effect for removing problematic heroes, but it will at least provide variety. So we got that.
I don't think this is for removing problem. If they make a turbo broken hero, this doesn't like fix that. However, I think it's incredibly powerful from the competitive scope of Overwatch. I think if you let there be like a you can ban many heroes like it is in MOBAs. You can pre-ban a bunch of heroes before any picks or whatever. That's fine in MOBAs because the heroes are way more similar to each other in MOBAs. Like almost every hero has replacements in MOBAs. There's almost nothing that's like truly unique, that there's no item, there's no hero. Like there's always a way to get anything in the game. Like you can't block all of one type of thing. But in Overwatch, you can ban one hero and you block like a huge range of the available strategies in the game. That's not how it is in any other game. So I think this system is like it's really good to make it small because it's incredibly powerful, even in this most minimal possible implementation. I mean, if you ban Lucio, you ban a huge group of comps in the game. There's a lot of those comps that also overlap with BAP, that also overlap with like Orisa or Kiriko. There's like if you
do this.
Even though you like, if there's one hard meta comp, you could ban one hero from the comp every single map, and like
map
every hero
Malga.
matters.
Map
People
2
really
Lucio.
don't understand. Every
map
hero
3
matters.
Like Kiri or BAP or something, and then you
No,
just
but
like
that drastically changes the game.
Yeah.
If you
No, I
cannot
agree,
play
I agree.
Kiri, then like your Lucio Kiri comp that rolls over Ana because we cleanse all the nades. Now I ban Lucio one map, I ban Kiri the next map, You know,
Yeah.
I ban like your tracer the next map. You know, you can really stop people from playing a whole strategy, even with this system. You can like block rush probably for like a whole series or some element of it, but then you're also being blocked in some way on your own comps.
I'm probably just asking for too much too early. I think it's probably the correct move to just ease in slowly and just do like a small thing first, just see how it goes. So yeah, this is probably the right way to go about it. So I'm interested.
Jones,
I'm
I'll ask for your take here in a little bit, but I'll just go first, and I'm just gonna completely go the opposite side there. I'm just gonna completely go the opposite side there. I think anyone who is like overreacting to this is like. I just don't agree in the slightest. I think that even if you get to ban one hero per one map, I really do think that the best teams, they can usually just play some other composition. It's going to affect scrims so that, yeah, you can't one-trick Lucio Kiriko, but usually the teams that are really good at Lucio Kiriko, they'll find a way to make Brig Ana work or something similar. They'll find a way to make BAP work. They'll just find the replacements because most of the time, they're usually pretty good at the other heroes too. Now, there are some one-tricks. You know, I'm not going to call anyone in particular out, but there are some people who mostly just play Lucio and their Brig is not that good. But I'm sorry, if your hero pool is so dog shit that you are massively going to be impacted by one single hero ban on your hero, you should just improve as a player. You should just focus on practicing some other stuff. So I'm gonna sag. I'm gonna go the other direction. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think it promotes a variety. And really, if you're massively affected by this one hero ban per map, then I really just think you should practice some other heroes and improve as a player. That's my take. So.
That's a hot take, actually. That's an extremely...
Might be an hot take, but
that's
you know,
just copying Joel's. That's Joel's take. You just copied him.
It's a new age of Overwatch. Work around it. Everyone's talking about, oh, you know, DPS players these days, they can play mostly everything. I understand that there's some players like Rocket, for example. We know that Rocket is a fantastic tracer player, and there are other players like that who are fantastic tracer players, but then, you know, they're gonna have to swap over to some other hero and adapt accordingly, but like, they'll figure it out. I don't think it's a huge deal. I don't think any of the top teams in any region is massively going to be affected or have their competitive integrity affected based on this hero pool, this hero ban suggestion. I really think that most of the strong teams will remain the strongest because they have the best players, and I think that they have wide enough hero pool to make it work. So there we go. They'll change up their practice a bit, be a bit more versatile. Then right now, most teams are just practicing Lucio Kiriko 8 hours a day. You won't be practicing Lucio Kiriko 8 hours a day because you need to be prepared. But I think they'll work around it, and it won't be a massive deal.
Like every map you scrim now, you have to think like, well, what could the opponent ban? Like, what do we scrim here? Like, do we have to start scrimming some weird comps in preparation for like people banning this? I think scrims are going to get I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying that scrims will be really strange moving forward in terms of how you practice, right?
I'm gonna let Jake respond because I know it's a hot take, Jake. Don't
worry, Jules is playing PLATCHAT right now. He doesn't need to respond. Jake can go.
Johnny, you're deeply wrong. You're deeply wrong. Let me explain why. This is, from my perspective, this is the biggest change to the competitive, like the reality of elite competitive play ever. This is bigger than how much the game changes strategically.
You think it's bigger than Rollock?
From Rollock, yes, yeah, it's bigger than Rollock for sure, bigger than Rollock, because maybe it's like same as Rollock, whatever. It's at least that big. It's like this is the scope of changes. I think it's probably maybe similar to like the Rollock 5v5. Those are like the same only things on the same tier of impact on the competitive scene, because you understand everyone scrims with the expectation that as you scrim, you constantly progress through the comps and you understand what counters what and what's strong on which map. And you reach a terminus where you come to believe, okay, on this map, we've played through all these different combinations and all these different counter swaps, and they lead us to this point, which seems to be the strongest. And sometimes it's hard to, then people disagree and they still play different things, which is usually results in the meta being reasonably balanced. It's not super clear what beats what on a given map. But this just, you no longer will engage in that process. It doesn't matter. You don't need to figure out 25 counters, like not 25 egregious, but usually it's like, okay, this comp, and then they'll swap these two heroes that beats us on this map, and then we'll swap that one hero back, but then we can still win. You figure this all out. You like, this is what scrims are for, is determining where the final outcome of the comp swaps are. But you will never be able to get the type of practice volume necessary to learn that when some of the steps in that chain are broken by a hero ban. That is like you're relying on being like, we know we can beat that comp because Ana beats that comp. And so the Ana swap, we're not worried about that comp because we know we'll swap Ana. that's not like you're no longer going to have the game figured out on that level because you don't know what the map ban is. Like, Colosseo plays a certain way with all the heroes in the game, but if you can't play Lucio or Kiriko or Tracer, you can't imagine that's actually going to change the game so much. Like, it means you can no longer come into the game and have like a decisive read on the strategy that, like, we know this is the best comp. We've kind of seen all the variations. You cannot have seen all the variations anymore. It's not achievable if there's a new hero ban that was like, yeah, you saw all the variations with an Orisa ban. Did you see them all with the Tracer ban, with the Lucio ban, with the Kiriko ban? I mean, this is like times 50 on how many different outcomes there can be with counterpicking.
So let's present the most egregious example then. So let's say, for example, that Lucio gets banned for one map in the series, which maybe the team that banned Lucio, they'll then try to force some kind of like poke composition. So now you have to match the poke, because without the Lucio, it's going to be harder to play Brawl. It's going to be harder to play Dive. And so you kind of have to match the poke.
Do you have to match poke, or should you play Dive? How do you know?
What do you mean? How do you know?
What I mean is teams know all these things. So they know, okay, so when the enemy plays Rush, we're going to go to this. And then, so what happens when Lucio is banned and the enemy team rolls out poke? Are you supposed to mirror poke? You figure that out in the 2 minutes before the map starts. Are you going to go dive or poke? What are you going to do when you can't play Rush?
Lucio, I think is the most obvious example here.
But I'm telling you, it still matters a ton. Lucio matters a ton. Tracer matters a ton. Kiriko having a cleanse has drastically changed the game. That, like, this really matters. One hero, it matters more than you think it matters, because every hero, usually you need a lot of the heroes in the comp to make the strategy function. More than people. Lucio is like probably the strongest example in the games. He's the most unique. You're probably never going to ban hit scan because they're too similar. But there's a lot of heroes there's no replacements for. At least Tracer and Venture, maybe there's some kind of replacement now. But I mean, the distance between a lot of these heroes, there's so many heroes in Overwatch that there's no other hero with the anti-heal banana. Like, that just changes the game. And maybe we don't have to carry the enemies on high ground anymore. We can run under them. But my point is, it's a new scenario you've never seen before. Whereas 99% of Overwatch matches are scenarios that both teams have scrimmed 10 times. Like 99% of competitive Overwatch matches, they've both seen both sides of the comp matchup 10 times easily. So they know all the counter swaps. It's like pre-planned. You're figuring that out on match day now. So that matters a ton.
I think that teams will need to be more prepared and do more like rough estimations of like what are our like our rules of thumb. If this hero gets banned, what are we generally pivoting towards? And I do think that Overwatch already, like when you play Overwatch, I do think that it's already kind of like, I don't want to dismiss like the power of being like exact in your hero picks and the exact reasons why you pick certain compositions and why you play the way you do. I don't want to dismiss that, but I do think that you can make pretty rough adaptations on the fly if you're a smart, versatile player. Yeah. And I think that is going to promote this playstyle more than ever. You can't get away. Like, if you're and they ban Wrecking Ball and Junkrat, you are fucked. I'm sorry, you're going to be fucked in the FACEIT League if this is the format. But there's an argument to be made that maybe you shouldn't get away just playing Wrecking Ball and Junkrat if you're like maybe that is pretty toxic. But I think the best teams already, they are smart enough already and they're versatile enough already that this is not going to impact them too much, and it's going to bring some versatility to the viewer. And I really don't think it's the biggest deal. So I know we have different takes on this. Jaws is playing Balatro. As someone who commentates this game professionally, Jaws, I don't know if you want to give your take on hero bans, but I at least want your take on how this system is going to work.
I'm so happy
it's easy enough to convey to like the viewer. I know
I'm
it's
so happy
League,
it's a trial run. Like, oh my god, I don't want the system at all. I don't want hero bans. Yeah.
Fair enough. You don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
Overwatch might be perfect the way it is. So, but
the hero pool is so small to begin with that one hero ban, like Jake said, will drastically change the comps. And it adds another layer of like weirdness when it comes to the devs too, when they're like trying to balance things, because they're balancing for solo queue, but then it's like, are they balancing and like helping competitive like OWCS? I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like another layer of complexity to me, balance wise, that would be avoided, and like it will be easier to balance the game if they're not trying to like focus on competitive. However, I do think for a broadcast perspective, it does make it more interesting, because you have a League of Legends system where you're like, oh, this team banned this. Huh, interesting. But then it's also, we're not League. And like those heroes in fucking League, it's like, oh, the same 6 bans every single fucking match because that's just a ban meta. Or like there's always like 4 bans to each side that are like stock standard. And then there's like 2 that are like up in the air. That doesn't always happen, but I don't know. To me, it just doesn't really inspire much. Like, oh, I can't wait to go on broadcast and talk about why fucking Kaya has fucking Junkrat banned. Like, obviously they're gonna ban fucking Junkrat. It'll bring out some variation in comps, but I don't know. I don't think we need it personally. I'm glad it's a trial run. It'll be fun to see it happen in like a competitive game, but I just don't really care that much about it. I just think Overwatch is fine the way it is right now, and we've only just moved to another fucking system in like Overwatch 2. And the balance team are like way more like, we're gonna fucking balance this shit like ASAP. Just they're way more aggressive with balances than they've ever been. So I don't know.
Not when it comes to Orisa.
That's the most reasonable take yet. That's the most reasonable take yet.
Hey, Orisa sucks. Like that character fucking blows. Like her character should be fucking nerfed into oblivion. There are problem characters. We say this every week. It's fucking Solomon rerun podcast episode 221 and 222 just back to back because we talk about the same fucking things. Like that is just what it boils down to. Is like the balance needs to be on these heroes that are problematic for the game because they suck when they're played. They suck when they're fucking permapicked. I don't want to go back to a system where like things are fucking banned because then also, oh my god, are we gonna then start implementing it into the actual game like they did in Overwatch 1? Like, is that going to go that far?
Jumping to conclusions though to talk about like this is probably not coming to ranked. I mean,
no, it's probably not. But like,
the competitive game is so different than ranked anyway.
I want competitive. I want OWCS and like the competitive, like you join with a team and shit, to be as close to like ranked and like queuing up as 5 as I possibly can.
I think for 99 point, I'm gonna estimate like 3 or 4 9s. Like those players do not play.
Yeah. That is true.
More than a few heroes. And so realistically, there are heroes banned every match, but it's just like because like both my sports just do not play this hero. That hero might as well not exist, right? For one team. Yeah. So for the average person's experience of the game, when the average person queues up, like if you're Kevster and you queue up on DPS, you're like, I'll literally pick any hero here. Like I can click any of these heroes and I'll use whatever I need. But that's literally just Kevster, you know, there's so few people for whom the game is like that, and truly every hero is just available to you based on your skill. That's ultra rare. What's very normal, and most people, it's like 3 heroes, you know, that's like, I'll play these heroes. Maybe it's 1 or 2. And so I think, I don't know, the ranked experience is already so different than competitive. It's okay to have something like this that's only for pro teams. I do think though, Johnny, what you're saying, I think it's true that I think the gap between the top and the top and not the bottom, but like let's say the very best teams in OWCS or FACEIT League and the middle teams is going to be way bigger. Like the gap is going to open up in a huge way. Like it's going to be way harder to upset an elite team.
Which I think is worse. That is just straight up.
Yeah,
worse.
Maybe that's true.
But
so that's what I mean. Maybe this is not a good system. Maybe we
Look
shouldn't
at the
have
last
any bans. But I think it's interesting to experiment with.
Of OWCS and how many close games there have been outside of the main event. I just don't think it's good for the game.
It's good for coaches. Coaches are
Coaches are going to go crazy for it, but they're going to go crazy the opposite way. They're going to fucking hate this shit. This is the biggest nerf to
coaches. This is the biggest nerf to coaches. This is bigger nerf to coaching than 5v5 or is like way bigger. Because you can no longer have a pre-prepared, you can no longer analyze all the replays and try to determine what the outcome of the strategy. You can't do that anymore. That's like what coaching is for the most part, is like okay, well, I looked at all this stuff, I did all this research, and it looks like this comp is like the one we should play.
Well, if you're a smart coach, you'll enable your players to make smarter hero adaptation on the fly. You'll increase their sense of macro switching.
The smart players are going to make smart hero decisions on the fly, and the smart coach can help a little, but it's way more emphasis on, because you currently as it is, you can make the decisions for your players. You can tell them, oh, okay, they do this, you do this, they do this, you do this, they do this, do this. You have these like set, like you tell the players, okay, we will respond this way to that strategy. Because you can take time and look at it and figure it out. And then next time you see that, you'll be ready with this exact plan. But now your plan, you're missing a piece from your plan, and your players have to figure out what to do with that. They're going to replace it somehow. They could try it, but should they try a different comp? I don't know. I think this nerfs the shit out of coaching. You don't matter that much as a coach with this. Like, at least for the strategic, how do you counterpick? You can actually, it's not that you don't matter, but it's certainly a nerf to coaching.
I think you'll get a couple of minutes at least with the coach in the lobby, like pre-game, and just like
But
react to the hero ban. And then
nobody
you have a rule of
knows.
thumb,
Nobody
and
really knows
preparation
like
is going to matter a lot. And a lot of players won't sit fucking prepare for like all the multiple scenarios that possibly, Gunbuck could do like the fucking matrix math to figure out like what are optimal conditions, stuff like that. So, I'm
curious. Ask Gunba. Ask Gunba if he thinks it's a nerf to the coaching. I think he'll be very. I think he'll agree with me actually.
Yeah.
Maybe
okay.
I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a coach, but I do think that if you have a smart coach and you're able to teach your players more macro understanding, I do think that this is going to be good for certain coaches, and it's going to help some players. Whereas some players are just lost. They just play their few heroes, and they haven't considered other scenarios. So I don't know. There are some coaches, there are some players that are really smart. There are some players that are also pretty dumb, but they're really good at what they do. So I'm not. I think it's yet to see. Anyway, me and Jake disagreeing on something. That's always a breath of fresh air. So maybe we'll do more of that this week, Jake. Maybe we'll do more of that this week on broadcast. Anyway, anything more on hero bans here before we get into the brackets, stuff like that?
I'm willing to give it a trial and just see how it goes. I'm not like sold on like, yes, we have to do hero bans, or like, no, we should never do hero bans. But I'm desperate to at least just see how it works. Give it a run. If it's good, keep it. If it's bad, bin it.
I will say, but last kind of point on this, that again, it is a bit of a shame that we have a few heroes in the roster that are very unique at what they do, and Lucio is the best example of that. So, I feel like in general the hero roster, there are like adjacent picks these days. We've seen teams switch between like Sojourn or Cassidy depending on their preference, and that's a good example. And I think mostly that applies to some roles as well. Not as a bigger difference, of course, but in general there are alternatives to picks these days. But like Tracer, Lucio, it's hard to replace those characters. So that is obviously not great when you consider hero bans. That's going to have a lot of impact when you ban Lucio or Tracer, for example. I think those are the biggest offenders. All right. There we go. So we'll see what happens. This is not OWCS. This is FACEIT League, and it's an article. They're considering it. FACEIT put out a statement. It's worth saying that they said, we're always looking for new ways to offer players the best experience on FACEIT. Open discussions with teams and the Overwatch community are essential in considering new features. The hero ban is in the exploratory phase, and we have no immediate plans to introduce it on the FACEIT. So worth saying. There you go, highlighted by Solomon. If you don't have ears, I don't know why you're listening to a podcast, but there it is, visual as well, so you can read it yourself. All right, we got a big week. Gentlemen. We got all three regions with a main event playoff the same very weekend before we go on a larger hiatus for waiting for OWCS Dallas. Now, maybe that's other events going on in the meantime. We'll see about that. But we figured, why not just make 3 brackets in one Plat Chat episode?
Very smart. Extremely
Very smart.
decision.
It's what we do best here, Jaws. Bracketology, Bracket Mania.
I want to add, by the way, unless Jaws wants to go straight away, but they just announced new, because we're about skins these days. This is a skin podcast, in case you didn't know. They just announced a new viewer drops for OWCS, and it only runs for like this upcoming weekend, so you kind of have to watch. So really, they're simultaneously giving you a ton of time to watch because all 3 regions are playing, but at the same time, you got no fucking time because all 3 regions are playing. And so if you miss out this weekend, you just have no time. So if you want to catch everything live, your ass is not catching everything live. That's all I'm saying. You are definitely not catching everything live. You're gonna have to watch some VODs. Me, Percy, who wanted to maybe watch everything live, I'm like, it's just not gonna happen. All 3 at the same time. Oh boy, like it's a shitload of watch. I kind of wish we actually staggered out a bit and played like maybe one region the week after, but we're just gonna do it all live. We're just gonna do it all together.
Skin podcast. It's all right, Ryan or Skin. You get it for free if you watch. Unless you work on the broadcast, then it's tough to
People
watch
get
12
so
hours.
up in arms about that shit. It actually fucking blows my mind.
Wait,
like,
up in arms about what?
The skins and shit and like watching and shit like that. It actually fucking blows my mind.
What do you mean? What are they talking about? Free stuff?
People get so fucking angry about like, I have to watch this many hours. I have to like do all this shit. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking like recolor. Like, chill the fuck out.
Hasn't that always been in the thing though? Like we've had this.
Yeah,
There's no way someone's out here getting mad about drops, yo. Like that's you're too deep.
I don't know, bro. When they don't get redeemed on their account and shit like that, I'm like, you guys are fucked. Like, it was when we started doing it for OWL, and I remember seeing just like a wave of like shit, like it didn't go onto my account properly or like quick enough or whatever, all this fucking bullshit. I'm like, holy fuck, people.
Okay,
are
well,
Contact
that thing
listener
was 2
support,
months.
You guys,
Three
contact
colours
support
of
if you have an
sticks.
issue, but don't be mad they're giving you free stuff.
I know it's mad. Yeah, that was just a small aside, but yeah, it's
People
just like-
complaining when things cost money. People complaining when things are free.
Yeah, it's fucking
Where
wild
does
to
it
me.
end? Where does it end?
Jaws, what are your thoughts on people in general?
Just fucking awful, bro.
What?
I mean,
What do you think about
look,
humanity?
Joe,
British,
Joe
right?
fucking
Fish are
Joe
the best. People
Public,
bad.
Joe Public, just dumb as fuck. Like,
What?
just
What about the Plat Chat audience? What about the people who watch the show?
Plat Chat
Very
audience
smart.
are pretty fucking intelligent because they're actually
Yep.
watching and consuming long form media.
Yep.
That's where
and they have shaved balls, so that's
exactly
then-
everybody's
yep.
got
If you
shaved
still Plat Chat, you
fucking
do.
balls.
Yep.
Exactly, bro.
Exactly.
Dude, I worked 7 years in fucking retail, bro. I'm done with Joe Public. That guy can fuck off.
All right.
There
Sorry.
you go. That's my take.
Sorry
Joe
if that
Public.
applies to you listening. Jaws statements does not apply to Plat Chat LLC. Does not represent the
Yeah,
podcast.
Plat Chat viewers are fucking sick. They're all beasts.
Okay, there you go. All right,
There you
there you go. All right, glad we got that sorted. You know, maybe we can apply that moving forward. So when we talk about actual viewers, people give feedback, Jaws, we can consider them Plat Chat listeners to make them a bit more humane, and actually you can be a bit more optimistic about things.
What the fuck? Okay,
Anyway,
whatever. Move
moving on.
bro. Move on.
How about we start with EMEA? How about we start with the EMEA? Some interesting upsets in this region right here. After Gunba brutally assassinated Exoblivione by stealing their main tank, it just so happened that they did not qualify for the main event. And instead, we got a few new teams showing up here. Kalios as well joined at the Ruxia, and they immediately lost. So, oh yeah, is now qualified for the main bracket. We got a really interesting lineup here. Abik's team, Abik, who I believe was let go of his team, made his own team, then ended up qualifying, named as Peace and Love. Solomon, how are we showing this bracket? How are we making the bracket Preds? Can you draw on screen?
you just edit the Wikipedia page. Probably the easiest.
Oh,
Can I just
Log
can I
into
just
your
say
Wikipedia account.
before we even like do any editing of any pages or like talking about the bracket, can we just say like group wise? Let's be real right now. Group D and EMEA is the most unbelievable group of life possible. Am I wrong? Like it's such a crazy group of life. How like free this
was
group is.
insane.
I don't mean to like shit talk any team in this group, but like compared to the other groups, bro, Group D was like way too free. So
That
You
was
can
the
check
red.
out Swiss
That was the
seeding.
red. No, that
But,
wasn't
like,
the red name.
yeah, I mean Swiss seeding is like I don't know, man. I don't want to turn this into like a Swiss discussion podcast unless we do, but yeah,
they
like
seem to be
Swiss
doing well
seeding,
right now, so fuck it.
Swiss seeding, maybe Swiss seeding definitely fucked up the groups a little bit here. To be honest with you, Group A way too stacked, Group D way too easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was
and
obsessed.
NA
I know
is
Dante
honestly a bit
was-
similar, so.
maybe not Dante, but someone was pissed. Oh,
Yeah, Dante
a
was,
few
yeah.
People were pretty angry on Twitter. Yeah, I think it was Dante. Yeah, about the seating.
Yeah.
Especially in EU, like that's ridiculous.
Improvements could be made. Hopefully. We'll see after Dallas if they to make some changes. Anyway, Solomon, have you figured out Mr. Hackerman?
Ackermans.
Whoa!
There it
I
is.
knew you would cook,
Is this-
Solomon.
is this
You
official
always
and-
cook.
Is this official on Solomon.io? Actual Solomon.io tech?
Let's fucking go.
Ooh.
You just
Oh.
fixed it seconds ago. Solomon
It's
is the
kind of
goat.
the goat.
Live Hackermans, guys.
Live Hackermans. Solomon is like saving the Overwatch scene.
Holy shit. Technology,
It's
guys.
incredible.
Actual technology.
Podcast, that's for fucking sure.
All right, we got 3 brackets to run through. One of which Avril is going to do by himself. That's the Asia region.
Wait,
But
am I?
let's kick it off with the EMEA
What
here. Let's kick it off with the EMEA and the matches we have in store. We're kicking things off with Space Station against Team Peps. Team Peps on the come up a little bit. Rebuild looking better. Exodio, pretty good hit skin player. Tread, showcasing well his hero pool.
We
What
do
do we think?
scores?
Surely Space Station's the favorite, though. No, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
easily.
Pepsis would be.
I'm just a
Excited. They're,
host.
they're definitely
Oh,
more
yeah.
interesting than last stage, but
I'm
that's
just
gotta
a
be-
Johnny's copping out,
He
guys.
pulled
Johnny's
the
copping
fucking
out.
host card.
Unbelievable, guys.
guys,
Oh,
we
yeah.
gotta. This is a bracket of expectations. All right, don't give me some. We gotta predict some crazy upset. No. This is just the. We don't. No one knows what's gonna happen. This is
Well,
what's
we want to be
expected,
right, Jake.
so that we can watch when it diverges. How are we all gonna? There's no way we're all gonna agree. We should just pick whoever's the favorite. I think.
Okay, well, we have to predict map score too.
We?
Guys,
Do we,
3-0
Johnny?
guys, I'm choosing Hungry Spark over Atlanta, and I won't explain why. I'm not explaining why. No,
Okay.
no elaboration.
Well, Jake, I know this is your first Plat Chat bracket, but we usually
You do. map
We
Preds?
go hard. We
All
don't
right.
hold back. So
All right.
you know, we muck it up real
Look at
good.
Jake.
What do we
Jake
think
wants to
map
hold back
score?
so hard. Look at him.
Map score. What do we go?
I just hate Preds. You guys know I hate Preds, so I'll
podcast.
bear it. I'll grin and bear it.
I mean, this is
I think
an
3-1.
easy 3-0, right?
I don't think it's easy at all because Peps are looking decent. I think it's 3-1. That's just me though.
That's
I'll go
clueless
with a
behavior.
3-1.
Yeah, that's
give
fair.
Peps a
behavior.
Yeah, that's
Space is looking good too.
That is, yeah. I'm sorry, that's a terrible take. Space Station
Okay.
is the best in the region. I don't think Peps
Alright.
are that good. Like, come on, against fucking fucking Peps, they fucking demolish him. What?
Peps went 2-3 versus Ants. Let's just be clear. Like you're underrating
All right,
Peps
let's
a
go
lot.
with a
PlayStation is way
3-0 because I feel like Jake wanted a 3-0 too. So we're going 3-0.
I think 3-1's. I don't care. I don't care.
There you go.
3-0.
Good stuff.
I should have gone to someone else for this podcast.
He hates
All right.
Preds. You know he hates
I don't like
Preds.
map, especially map score Preds. It's like so silly. Like I don't know. We're already making a guess about who's gonna win. Throwing map score Preds is like
silly.
throwing darts. It's like
3-0.
It's okay.
That's like, oh, yeah. Team
Really
Pepsi, you know,
though,
they're
can I
weak
just
on
make
push,
a
so-
meta point right now, okay? Brackets, making bracket Preds like we're doing right here, okay? It's like using a fucking bread loaf for a sandwich. It literally, it's the vehicle for analysis, Jake. It's not about making the actual Pred. It's not about being actually right. The bracket
you're wrong.
is a vehicle as a podcast segment to make analysis about the teams and give your thoughts and opinions about the teams while you're making the Pred, okay? So I don't need you to care about the bracket Pred itself, but I request your humble
I just
analysis,
take
sir.
issue with that we have to come to agreement on map score. That like no, this is actually I know they're the favorites, but I think they're about 14% less favorites than you think they are, Johnny. Like I think they're like we're trying to put numbers on it. I don't know.
All right, get Bren
Okay,
and Josh
can we
back
just
on.
not do map score then? Can we just say fuck map
Let
score?
they're all 3-0s,
Real?
guys.
Okay, all right. We have the technology
Okay.
because so wants to go.
Christ.
All right,
Peace and-
Space Station wins.
I
Peace and
think-
love
agree.
versus the Impero. Okay,
Literally
what are
no
your-
idea. Even predding this match is like throwing a dart for me.
Impero.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm
Impero?
just guessing.
You think the
I'm just-
Impero
I'm
is
just
going to be
fine.
peace and love?
Do the other team. I don't know. I'm guessing too. I'm guessing as well. What do you want from me?
I'm pulling more to my side, Johnny.
They do have Hot Babe 36, bro, in a beak. Maybe winnable for a beak. And they
Maybe
have,
peace and love then. Maybe peace and love then.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. This one's a coin flip as well.
What would
All right, let's
Avast do
coin
if he
flip.
was
Bring,
here?
bring up the coin flip.
Probably fucking
Solomon, bring
quit.
up
The-
Avast would pred hot babe.
Yeah, absolutely, fucking with Fred Hot Babe. I think I mean,
Custa's streaming right now. I'm gonna ask him on stream.
this is good. He's
Oh, we didn't
streaming
even
right
say
now.
we didn't even say what team.
No,
was
it
heads or
auto
tails.
flips. It auto flips.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're going with
Gonna-
hot babe. That was
You
what
go,
we're doing.
boom, done. Save sign now. Fuck you, Google.
I'm gonna go to Scott's chat. The Impero or peace and love?
Oh, dude, I said fuck you, Google. My phone just lit up, bro. I'm fucking scared. It actually,
AI
went to
takes
the-
over,
it
you're
actually went to the
done,
Google
bro.
Assistant. I'm not joking. That's fucked up.
They're
All right,
listening.
okay, anyway, I'll be dead in like 10 minutes, bro. There'll be a fucking sniper red dot on my forehead or some shit.
All right. Next matchup. It's not one to do
Ents.
all the analysis of. And we know Ents is gonna win. We'll
Ents.
talk about Super Shy later.
Twisted Minds, yeah.
Minds.
Twisted Minds or oh yeah.
Twisted Minds.
You're trolling. I've heard
Although
like there are rumors.
it's like there is the X factor of the Chaos team, but Twisted Minds is way too good to lose to that. I think
There are rumors that Twisted Minds are not doing well in scrims and whatnot. So
they could tilt. That's
we'll
the thing.
see.
This psycho comp, you could always just hyper tilt against it, but I don't think they. I think they'll just win.
I
Alright.
agree with you, but they would be funny if they.
There
had.
is always a chance. I would say there's way more of a chance for oh yeah than like a random team that plays meta that's just worse than Twisted Minds. I
Right.
think you're better chance to cheese them than to play normal and beat them.
Okay, fair enough. There was that rumor. Where you heard that rumor yesterday, AVRL?
Yeah. So okay, this is gonna sound like the most like he says, she says. My uncle's dads,
Love
brothers, bosses, friends, uncle. You know,
Mhm.
it was basically someone in my chat was like they got rumors
Someone in my
from
chat.
Commander X, scrim rumors about TM potentially having some internal issues with KSA, and they might be putting Labda on tank. That was the rumor.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
Did you also heard the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
And
not just my
probably
chat
a
saying it.
chatter from your chat that was also in my Discord.
We will
Same
see,
guy.
we
It's
will
actually just
see.
one dude with multiple accounts spreading rumors.
So risk of
Potentially.
Twisted Minds booming.
TM booming? Question mark.
There's a risk. It's exciting. That does make this match one that's more interesting than it would otherwise be. You get the team
Oh, yeah,
mental
we could
booming
go-
versus the team that plays crazy troll comps. This is actually one of the most beautiful types of Overwatch matches.
Because otherwise, like, I mean, Ents had an interesting run through their group as well. Because I don't know, that 3-2 Peps game has just really thrown things into a weird spot for me. Like, is that because Peps was really good, or was Ents like poor that game? You know, it's hard. So
I think it got Peps played well. So I think Peps
maybe
are playing
Ents is still really. I think. Yeah, I mean, I would probably in this meta. Who do I like between Ents and Twisted Minds? If KSA plays, I think I still lean Twisted Minds. I think, assuming they don't actually have any internal issues.
I don't know. I feel like the meta is like really good for Enzo.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the meta right now is like
What are they
very
gonna-
straightforward.
What team gonna play? They're gonna play Malgus.
To play what? They're going to play Chase or they're going to play Vistola? What are they going to play?
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna play Chase or Stola, but they're gonna play Orisa.
Anything with those two.
I don't know.
so-
I think it's just good to be highly flexible. I think there's a lot of Sig in the meta right now. Sig and Winston are both seeing a lot of play.
I mean, they
I think
could
the
pick.
best teams
oh,
will
they
need to
sh-
be flexible right now.
Can they
in this
draft
meta.
Winston maps? I guess that could be something that Ents do.
Yeah, or
Oh.
they could want to play. They could Vistola's Sig is really strong. They could want to lean on that and play like your
I
mid
mean, that's not.
and your
If
circuits,
KSA
but-
plays Sig as well, though, it's not like a real win condition for
Yeah,
Ents.
yeah.
I don't think.
I don't know what where Ents think they have the biggest edge, but I think both teams will just play to their own strengths. I think when they're two teams that are both like this strong and like expected to play each other, I don't see either of these teams as like one trick teams that's gonna like force their one trick. They might end up mirroring, but I think they'll both play multiple comps. It just so far what I've seen, I don't think I've seen any of the top teams like one tricking a comp. It just doesn't seem there's nothing that broken right now to where you don't play it. You play it on every map. Like that doesn't. From what I've seen, there's a lot of versatility in the meta where most teams are playing a number of different styles.
I mean, map picks will definitely come into play, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's in general pretty straightforward for the damage players offense and the support players offense. Like what they're gonna play. Like they're most of the time they're gonna play like Cassidy or Sojourn, Tracer, Lucio, Kiriko. Like that is generally the strongest right now, and I feel like that works in N's favor. And I think they'll be more prepared. Are there going to be maps that will change things up? Probably, but I'd go to Ents over Twisted Minds.
Yeah, so would I. And
Yeah, I
just
think
makes the most
especially with the
sense to me.
rumors about Twisted Minds, we have to. I think
Yep.
should be like
Scream Hawks.
almost a 50-50
Question,
match,
do
but that
you-
probably puts it in Nens's
Do
favor.
you guys think Quartz is nerfed off Sojin and on the cast instead? Because he's like a god tier Soj, but off Soj, is he just like a good cast but not like a super elite cast? You guys think
We haven't
that?
seen
You guys feel
enough,
that?
I think, to say, but I think it's worth noting there's a question mark there. Whereas like we just have seen so much of his Sojourn, it's clearly a
'Cause
huge
I-
cover pick for him. But most his
Yeah.
game players can handle them all pretty equally. It's rare to have a huge swing between. the
You
two.
can handle them, but I feel like but some players when they're on a certain hero, they're like server admin on that hero. Like you can handle them, but then like you play Quartz and Sojin, it's like holy fuck, he's looking like one of the best of what it could be, right? So I think it possibly is like a bit of nerf. They're forced if we're moving away towards like a more cast favored meta, then that could be a bit of a nerf to TM. I think the safer pick right now probably sounds like Ents. They have the more well-rounded team. Is rumor. I don't want to like pred off rumors because it could be just bullshit. But like I don't know. Ents is probably the safer
Dude, this
pick.
is
so I
Plat
agree.
Chat.
And you got time to figure it out. In the end, team drama has a way of working itself out just as the tournament gets started. If you're like serious professionals, you figure out a way to like get through it by the time the match is met. Like people have their drama. In my experience, sometimes it's so bad you can't fix it for the match, but for most part, people come around when the chips are down. So I in my experience, that's how it goes. So like I do think I don't overrate how significant it is to like hear about drama and scrims or chaos when we still have like a week, before the matches. I think like genuinely, I've seen so much team drama resolve itself as the matches come up. It's like it needs to come to a head maybe before the matches, but we'll see. That's what I mean. I don't care. Even if it's true, all the rumors are true and it's all happening right now, there's a very possible chance that within 1 week it's fixed. And so I agree. We shouldn't overrate the rumors basically.
All right. You guys want to go ahead and pred Space Station over Peace and Love too?
Yes.
Yeah, easily.
No
I
questions
think
asked.
that's like a clear favorite.
All right. Let's head over to the lower bracket real quick. Team Peps versus the Impero.
Well,
The Impero,
Peps.
nice reverse sweep story over Rock.
Still, I feel like Peps with the
Peps
great
is so
performance
too
against
strong.
Ants has earned themselves a win over a lot of, or at least a prediction over a lot of the teams that are sort of seen to be not as high.
All
Yeah, I
right.
agree. I think Peps is looking strong right now.
This is a big pred though. Oh yeah, versus Super Shy. It's one of those you don't know. I tend to pred against the one trick meme team, but you never know. Some of the weaker teams could easily fall prey to that.
Dude, this is like like the OWCS junior version of Hangzhou Spark against Chengdu Hunters.
You know,
Actually,
A little bit.
Actually.
you know what's crazy is Super Shy never got to play against Space Station, so it's like actually hard to gauge them because they lost to EXO 2-3, then they beat EXO 3-2, but then EXO lost 0-3 to SSG. So because Super Shy never played SSG, it's like super tough to like actually get the real level.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, it's hard-
yeah, it's like impossible to know because every team who plays them will have a different experience because they play a weird comp.
like yeah, how do you how good are you at responding to meme stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's a skill that is like just super different. You make the matches really different when you play the crazy comps. So it's just it is a big test for Super Shy. Do you have all the answers? Do you actually know how to play them well enough? Can you handle the heroes well enough?
Yeah, I will say Super Shy. They looked impressive. They had a few standout performers. I'm a fan. As it is known now, I'm a fan of Super Shy. I think they have a good squad and a lot of talented players. But I will actually go with the upset oh yeah pick. I think this is a matchup they can get away with. I think that Super Shy, despite what I saw from them, it's hard. It's hard to play oh yeah. And so I think they'll come out and they'll play their jungle wrecking ball stuff. And even if they face some hard counters, it's gonna be hard to play it out. It's gonna be hard to adapt accordingly. So I got oh yeah.
I tend to back the team that's gonna play standard. I don't tend to back the meme teams. So I'm gonna go.
I think
Super
oh
Shy
yeah
here.
is really good at their meme stuff though. I have seen them.
I agree.
Make it look
It
really
is scary.
good.
It is very scary. Maybe I'm just a Zorro believer. Another Swedish DPS up and coming. Here we go. Johnny, look. By the way,
They're pretty
Johnny.
good. I mean, to be
Johnny is
fair.
Johnny not backing his Swedish DPS. He's backing a
I
different
have
Swedish
killed you.
DPS on the other side. He's Kaya pilled. He's not Zorro pilled. That's unfortunate.
I am Kaya pilled. That's right. That's right. He's Swedish.
He's nasty on the rat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jake would know from one rat to another. Jake would know.
He's
We
good.
know.
He's good.
I mean, they beat at AVRL, which, again, it's not ENS or Space Station, but I still feel like that's, at least it's respectable enough to, you can actually see Oya beating Super Shy 2 in the main event here. So, what do you think, Joss? What do you think about Junker Wrecking Ball?
I don't know.
We're gonna
Like,
tiebreak this.
it's such a hard game to call, but probably oh yeah for the meme value, honestly.
Okay. All right.
I can see the.
Well, who did
memes
Jake go?
being strong. I'm with.
'Cause I
Oh
went-
yeah.
Okay, 3-1
Here
here.
we go.
Right, okay,
All right.
okay.
Well, if this was, a Plat Chat episode with Sideshow and Bren, or with Avast, or with Mr.X, this is where, historically speaking, Plat Chat would go with the upset in the lower bracket. Oh yeah, beating Twisted Minds. Which, by the way, I don't know if this is the case, but wouldn't they flip in the lower bracket, Solomon?
Oh, would they play the opposite?
They
The
probably would
sub-team
flip.
from the opposite side, so they don't play.
Yeah. Which we
might.
won't be able to fix on
Who
the fly.
knows?
Wait,
So
is
don't
that what they
sweat
did?
it.
Hang on, did they do that last time?
That is like basic bracket rule set. Like you need to flip. You don't play the same team twice.
Bracketology.
You'd think so, but
Bracketology.
I've seen worse. So let me just double check.
No, that is right. It is esports. We've definitely seen worse. But yeah.
No,
they
okay. So
did
last
flip.
time they did flip. It looks like they. Hang on, did they?
Yeah, they do flip. Because the loser in the upper bracket semis goes to the other side of the bracket.
The last time the loser of A1 and the loser of A2 played each other in the lower game one, and so yeah, the loser of game one and the loser of game two played each other in the first lower bracket. I'm looking at the last main stage one.
So in our example, like Twisted Minds would actually be a part of the upper side of the bracket instead.
if we bring ours again,
There we go.
Yep.
Oh my God, Solomon, you
Easy
are a hacker,
breezy, bro.
man. Like this
Hacker
is
man.
crazy.
Which
How
I
do you-
think
how do you do
in the
this?
end it matters
Magic.
a lot because Twisted Minds versus Peps is like
It's
a
just
way
very
closer.
different match than Peace and Love and oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
feel
is
like
great.
for like to be honest, I would probably still take Twisted Minds over Peps. I mean, regardless of the reports of the drama, I just
Yeah.
I would as well.
feel
Yeah.
like
I don't
it's
wanna
gonna be they're
substantiate that
still
shit.
they'll have it figured out by then. If they
Yeah.
haven't got it figured out, maybe that's a problem. But honestly though, I think oh yeah, it's like same as the last match. I think they might
Let's
be able to
go.
win, but then
Just do it
again,
again?
like I don't know. Peace and Love, it is this in the end, this is why I think some of these this is like it's impossible to pred whether the crazy Junkrat, like whether the team can deal with Junkrat Wrecking Ball is like a total unknown.
Like,
they don't know if they can beat it or not.
Like there's no way we say Super Shy lose to All Yeah, but then Peace and Love beat them. So I think if we're gonna give All Yeah the benefit of the doubt here, All Yeah just beat both Super Shy and Peace and Love. No,
I'll take it. I think it's genuinely possible. It's just so like there's no analysis. I feel like there's no meaningful analysis you can do.
This is a good bracket for you.
It's totally unknown. Like how they'll
Mr.
respond.
Jake anti-analysis.
No, I'm just anti pretending to do analysis when I don't actually know or don't actually think there's good evidence to think one thing or the other. I think it's okay to admit that we're ignorant about some subjects.
I love that. Oh yeah, made the top 4. Oh yeah, to Dallas, dude. If they beat Twisted Minds, I actually
like. I think it's just as likely that they'll lose immediately to Super Shot. You know, so it's like it's possible, but I don't. I think it's very chaotic at this part of the bracket.
Yeah, this bracket right here would solidify Space Station and Twisted Minds for Dallas. I do think because of the circuit point system.
I think they're the favorites, right? So
which I think is pretty expected. No, I think also Twisted Minds will make it. I would be very surprised if it wasn't SSG and Twisted Minds going to Dallas.
Yeah.
I think that's just like most roads, regardless of how these brackets go, most roads lead to that. Anything but that is a very surprising outcome.
But Space Station would have to like bomb out early for another team to.
Yeah, or
make.
I mean, honestly though, if any of these teams bomb out early, there's a real chance they don't make it, right? Because
exactly.
Or if like. Yeah, I guess it depends who's the winner. Because the winner of this, is it the number 1 winner that goes straight to Dallas?
Yeah. The winner is
so there could be some weird outcomes where like if Twisted Minds win and they're first place and first circuit points, it actually changes a lot because now first point circuit points just doesn't exist, right? But if it's a huge upset and there's a team that's not even in the top 3 in circuit points that wins, then we could see some of these favorites not able to make it. So as long as some of the favorites win the whole thing to get the free slot to Dallas, then the other favorites will probably also be in with circuit points.
All right, who do you got? Space Station or ENCE?
I think Space Station. I think they're just the best team in the region. I don't see them not just winning.
This is the match I want to watch. This is the match I have no expectations about.
You guys, you guys are probably seeing more Europe than I have based on time zones. It's like Europe's the hardest time zone for me to watch. You guys actually think SSG, like eye test, look better than ENCE right now after all the group stage games? I think maybe that 2-3 loss, 3-2 win versus Pep still maybe hurts ENCE a bit.
Yeah.
But it's like hard. Like I don't know. I can't like have a exact conclusive answer to like who I think looks better right now on the eye test.
I haven't watched that many ENCE scrims recently. So I actually don't know how well Chase is acclimated to the new team. And how well they're playing with Chase as new tank of the team, and how they're doing like the tank rotation. So I'm not as up to date, but I really do feel like Space Station are in a really good position to win this tournament, especially if Sparker is going to play that much Cassidy, which is a really good hero for Sparker. And Hadi is so flexible and looking really good on so many different heroes. I really do feel like Space Station is a really good team here. You would say that like. Kev stressed a leg up on Psycho and stuff like that. But I think I'm pretty Space Station pilled in this tournament. I think this could be their one, and they could win it for sure. So, yeah, I'm going Space Station 2 in this matchup.
I have an announcement. Scott's going Space Station 2.
There you go.
What? Are you in his Twitch chat right now? What's happening?
He said, I don't know, but I'm going Space Station.
He was like queuing ranked with Matt, and I was like, what are you doing?
That's
You're queuing
That's a wide group, maybe. That's a wide group.
Oh, God.
That is a wide group. That's the widest of groups.
I think based on the ENCE close run-in with Peps, I think we'll give this. I'm happy to give SSG.
I think it's just I think this bracket is a lot more simple than.
Yeah.
Happy to give SSG the nudge. ENCE just win against Twisted Minds, win that game. ENCE win that game, and then it's going to be a rematch, and then Space Station just win.
Yeah.
Seems most obvious to me.
All right. Twisted Minds against the comeback?
No.
No, please.
I don't think
it's
I
exactly
think the
what I
very
just
top
said.
teams are going to be way too
ENCE
hard.
make it, and that's it.
I also think there's a decent chance lose out right away. Yeah. Like the bottom of the bracket is chaos. I think the end of the bracket is also kind of chaos. It's hard to say. It'll have been a while. There's a lot of time for these teams to change in strength, for teams like ENCE, Space Station, and Twisted Minds to change in strength before we get to these actual matches that will decide the whole thing. like every match you play will change your strategy. Like at this point, probably if scrims, they're still changing their strategies. So I still feel like it's still anyone's game for me among the top teams. I think player strength is just equal enough where as their read on strat changes and like which players are you fielding in the roster and like what strats are you playing, there's so much room for adjustment in that area. It's still anybody's game among these top three.
Well, given that we already predicted ends over Twisted Minds and Space Station over ends, did the brackets just run its course?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the most logical way based on what we said, but I just want to throw my hat in the ring of I don't know, and I don't want to pretend to know.
I mean, there's a
Alright.
world where like if Twisted Minds have made it this far, especially because we've seen them like, did they go through low bracket last time? They did, didn't they? They lost to Ents and then made the low bracket run, right?
Well,
So I think
it wasn't only it was like the upper final.
yeah.
and
So
then won the
so they
lower
went
final
down
and
low
won.
and then went back to final, correct? Yeah. So yeah, I think they like have
So
the
this would be a
capability
longer
to.
run for them if it goes this way. But I think you make a fair point. They
think-
have the
I think-
comeback potential.
I think there's a genuine world like this is the kind of bracket where either of the three teams could win, but I could totally see Twisted Minds beating Ants, beating Space Station, and coming first again. Especially if they make it this far, they've clearly like gotten over any roster issues they've had. If they had real roster issues, they probably don't even make it this far. I think they get knocked out earlier, right? So, possibly, but if we're gonna go based on our like logic so far of like who's been winning, we just keep going with favorites. It's Ents beat Twisted Minds and Space Station beat Ents, right?
I feel like the bellwether will be Twisted Minds versus in the first round. That's a big match. That's a match to watch. Check tilt levels based on how you play against
Okay. Wait. Before the Plat Chat guarantee, Solomon. Wait.
Everyone has to
Hold
pose
on.
for it
I
first
think
of all.
he's waiting.
Wait. Okay. Go back to the bracket. Wait.
What are we waiting for?
What are we waiting?
There you go. I'm ready. You can take the photo.
What the
Plat Chat certified.
What? Like am I not getting this?
Is
What's
this the
happening?
thumbnail?
There you go. All right.
Watch
we're
the
back.
episode.
We're back. Yeah, because someone's inevitably going to wait. Where did my cam go?
This is big promotion, actually. This is
Wait,
big
where
promotion.
is
We
my
can tweet
cam?
this.
Does
Thank
my cam
God
not
he's
work anymore?
gone.
There we go. All right,
Oh,
I'm
no,
back.
he's
We were watching.
Because
We were looking
people
at the
inevitably
guarantee.
posted on Reddit. So now if they see it on Reddit, they know to go to watch the episode. There we go.
Easiest Reddit farm of my life.
We got
Johnny actually, he's got some big hacks here this episode. I like these are like the internet optimization life hacks.
Dude, I always see our rankings on Reddit. And then people mauled not having watched the episode. The amount of
The
people who were so
engagement.
mad at the Mythic Skin tier list and they didn't watch the episode.
It's pretty
Unbelievable.
mad anyway,
It's
bro.
not
Like,
engaging
engagement
baiting
was
if they
good.
don't watch.
I was so angry at the Tracer bias. People hate Tracer apparently. So
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
How can you hate
I can
Tracer?
empathize.
I don't think you can do that.
all right.
I currently play a lot of Tracer, but I can empathize.
Let's head over to the EMEA bracket. If we got it. Solomon. There we go. So
Big games.
biggest storylines.
I think we
include,
have a misnomer on M80 there, but
Who is
Uh,
Goldfish? That's the team.
we have
That's
two
wrong.
teams named Who
That's-
is Goldfish, and one of them has the
that's the
M80 logo, who I strongly suspect might not be Who is Goldfish.
all good. All good. There we go. Wow. So, a couple of storylines here. Citrus Nation beat Timeless 3-0. Didn't see that one coming.
Huge upset.
Johnny said biggest upset in OWCS so far, which I think might be right. I think it might actually be the biggest upset so far this year.
Yeah. I don't know if
It
there's
is
a big one.
it is a next level beef, but it also speaks to the inconsistency of a team with incredible star power. But we've also seen it in previous tournaments in them, right? Like I saw them throw a massive lead in what was it, like the winter tournament, right? Like so this Timeless team, they have incredible potential as we've seen in their previous runs, but they're not nearly as consistent as some of the top teams, like the teams with more veteran players, which is kind of, to be fair, it's kind of what you'd expect. Even though they can win, they have a better chance to win against some of the best teams than a lot of the mid table, but they also have a better chance to throw. Their consistency, we haven't seen them do ever a successful run, right? Which is why I think people rate a lot of the very experienced players really highly is that like, okay, you know what they can do. You've seen them a lot, which is some of the. It's a little sad for Thomas. This could have been the start of something, but now, nope, maybe not.
I mean, I think they were a favorite from NA to make Dallas, right? Top 3.
Yeah,
So-
agree. And now is it still possible? Theoretically, maybe, but
Pretty
probably
much
very
no.
unlikely.
No.
It's extremely unlikely.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's
no
basically
chance now.
Basically, they're done. So, but to be fair though, I'm not even I like Thomas. They're exciting players, but to be honest, I'm like would put a lot more confidence in a team like M80 to do well when they play the Korean teams, man. When you play the Korean teams, yeah, welcome to the real Overwatch. Is all I can say for the NA. Like, you know how you're so good in NA, you did so great. And then when you play the full Korean teams, you realize what the game is. It's a little different.
That's the
Well,
most
Twisted
exciting thing
Minds
about
found
it.
out. Twisted Minds found out when they did the Korea boot camp.
Yeah. Everybody
So-
finds out. All right. Everybody gets their chance to find out how the game really is. And then you realize you can't win the ways you thought you could win, and you have to win in the right way, I guess. Although Twisted Minds, not Twisted Minds, rather, Timeless, I thought maybe they could. I thought maybe they could be exciting, but in the end, I just feel a lot better about Happy and Pelican. Like, they're not gonna get scared, you know. I don't know if the Timeless guys are like, they're like have shown some tendency to choke, I guess, in the results we've seen. Although they've also shown a ton of potential, which most teams don't even get that, right? They only choke and they only lose to the top teams. At least Timeless has a chance to win. But another choke from them, it definitely hurts. I hope to see them back stronger, more consistent. Stage 3.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning, like Dante tweeted out and we said earlier, that probably shouldn't be a scenario in which case last year's second and fourth place team end up in the same group in the group stage. So again, a result of the Swiss stage seeding, but that does not excuse their loss 3-0 to Citrus Nation, a match in which they should have won. I also know that, you know, the entire competitive community, it's their favorite thing to do, to clown on Timeless after the whole, you know, cafetology thing going on, and like the banter between the coaches and the teams and like all that, and like even A joined in and like made fun of them on stream and stuff like that. Gator had some truly unhinged tweets yesterday.
They were
Yes,
they were
fair.
insane.
They were
holy shit.
It went
Gator's
off.
off the leash. Gator's always wanted to tweet this stuff, you know. He's just off the leash
Yeah.
now. It's not Overwatch League anymore.
Gator's
Somebody
tweets are
started
not
beefing
real.
Gator. Now you fucked up.
A Hydron piped in as well. Or
Yeah.
retweeted Gator. Oof.
It was funny
Oh,
as
I
fuck,
don't too.
actually.
Oh, we got in there.
But I don't know. I think this is exactly the type of, like, for me, this is banter. No one's talking about anybody's mom. They're just getting flamed for being bad at the game, and this is a tale as old as time. And the competitive scene is blaming people for being bad.
I mean, I don't know what's going on in Gator's brain. Like, how do you?
I think he was back
like tweeting like this.
They tweeted all the stuff about like winning, about how we can beat all your AL players. You guys aren't even good.
Yeah,
like
so
the
Gator did
Riker
reply to that too. You can bring that up, someone. What's the
Yeah.
difference
So
too?
so for me, it's like, you know, hey, you poke the bear, you get poked back. Maybe it's harder than you know, it's more than you wanted, but in the end, I think, yeah, that's like part of the fun. This is for me, it's the fun of banter when both teams can talk trash to each other.
Yeah, I mean, true, but
When you
also
lose, you take your licks.
it wasn't even M80 that beat Timeless. And so, like, you're M80, and you go after Timeless after they lost to a different team, after you were one map away from losing to Paris in Pajamas, in which a match you should have
Doesn't
definitively
matter,
won as
still won.
well.
I don't agree though, because what are you gonna do if you're M80? You can't talk trash until Timeless, what, in like 2 months plays you again?
No,
Like,
you
come on.
can. You
You're
can. But
You're
in
not gonna
this
wait
fashion,
2 months though. If the team your like Nemesis team got eliminated from the tournament, that is the time to talk smack. You're not waiting for next year to talk smack. Waiting for
No.
next
I'm not
tournament.
saying you need the matchup, but like Gator's tweets with like all caps lock, they're like
They're funny
they
as
are.
fuck.
They're
It's
aggressive.
funny. I don't know. I think
That
it's
was a
funny.
Joker moment tweet. That's what it looked like to me.
Exactly. It's
A
like
Joker
so
moment.
unhinged. I think it's funny. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not against it, but Gator really went out there, and I think the reason why I say this too, again, like, I'm all for it. It's a lot of fun. It's really good for the scene, so I'm all for it. But Gator now puts himself in a scenario in which they almost lost a match they shouldn't have, and now going into the main event, Gator is like putting himself on a
He's
platter
public enemy
to
number one. He's
receive the
definitely-
exact same treatment against like whoever puts them out. And, you know, whatever. Like, here we go. Respond to Riker. This is after Riker 2-0 M80, I suppose, in April 8th. And then Gator replies as he does with emojis.
Show
and,
the Hydron tweet as well. It's good.
the Hydron tweet is good too. Yeah. So there's a lot of stakes going on. There's a lot of banter stakes. There's a lot of trash talk stakes going on right now in NA, which is pretty entertaining. But don't do yourself a disservice by believing too much in yourself.
that he can have shots fired back at him though. Like it's not like he's unaware. It's not like he's like, yeah, oh my god.
Also, Gator, I don't think he cares at this point because he's been
No, he
going
doesn't
through
give
the
a shit.
ringer multiple times in the community. So, but
He should pop off more. It's funny as fuck.
I
Yeah.
like
That's
it.
what we
is.
wanted, right?
pro trash
We
talk.
wanted personalities, and people are fucking.
yeah, I'm saying it's good, but damn, Gator, I'm saying it's good, Jaws. I'm not against it. Anyway, I will also say I like the Timeless Boys, just as Jake said as well. And it was really good that people like Riker, for example, came out and actually trash talked after they were beating teams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Please don't
This
stop
is the
that.
cycle of trash talk.
It's the cycle of trash
You
talk.
win, you talk your shit. You lose, you take your licks. It's how it goes. It's how it goes. You,
And
either-
trash talk
either you
history
play
is
or
written
you
by the
don't,
winners.
But
So
if you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk. That's all it is.
yeah, it was a brutal way to go out. But yeah, thank you, Timeless Boys, for spicing it up. Do appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into the bracket, Preds. Let's get into the bracket and see what we got in store. So tough one for Citrus Nation, as they gotta play Toronto Defiant. I think it's an easy Toronto Defiant. Don't think we need to spend too much
I think
on that.
Let's be
Toronto
honest.
just
Let's
goes
fill
all
out
the
the
way.
whole top of the bracket, guys.
Yes. Toronto just goes all the fucking
Students of the game
way.
against Pip. Yo, Pip have been
No,
looking
no, no.
good.
I mean, let's just put Toronto through.
Yeah.
Just-
Oh, fair
Toronto-
enough. Can you
all
post
the
it?
way.
Solomon's like,
to
I can't do
finals.
that. Can't
Oh,
do
you
that.
can't
to
do
you.
that.
yeah, not allowed to. Not allowed to. But
All right.
students versus pirates.
Students of the game, I think, win that.
No,
think that-
I'm going Pip.
I take
Really?
students. I take students.
I think
in this
students. I think they're very, very good. I think Infected is sick. I think PG is exceptionally good. Like, yeah, I think that team is so good.
one. Pip's been playing together for a long time, but
I've
I
been
think,
saying
I think
this
the players are a little
since
stronger
fucking
on
stage one,
students.
motherfucker. The students of the game, they're sick, bro.
Yeah, agree.
They are
I think
sick,
They're
but-
really good.
I like
They're
Pip.
fucking really good at the game, and they
I
have
th-
so many young players that are super talented that just haven't had a chance.
Yeah, Pip.
Pip
I
are
mean,
good
Pip
too,
also has
like,
strong
they're
players, but
okay,
I
but-
do. I'm pretty strongly on students for this one.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
pretty-
yeah. No,
I'm
I
pretty
think
Pip pilled. But
this is
Pip
tough.
build.
I like
that.
Pip
I
as
like
well,
that.
but I think students have
Luminosity
probably been stronger
surely.
than
Who is
recent
on
games.
Who is Goldfish? That's the one team I truly don't know. I mean,
Goldfish is on it.
There's a player called Goldfish on it. We can start there.
yeah. Okay, let's. I can.
It's-
Dust has a pretty alright Winston. They
okay.
liked playing the Winston comps.
Well, these are 5 players I don't think I've ever seen compete before, so we'll see.
So what you're
Okay.
saying is they're not winning. Okay.
They're not
What I'm
winning
saying
games
is,
in
I would be
apparently.
it would be a huge upset for me. Like they're
Listen.
unknown, so I haven't seen them play and then they play bad, which would be worse. So it's
Yeah.
better to be unknown at least.
Well,
But,
Luminosity did come first in the group. I
They
think that's
do-
worth a
they
lot.
do win
so-
that.
Yeah, I think
Luminosity
Luminosity
do
should be
win.
one of the favorites, and to play a random team, surely they're expected to win.
Then-
All right. M80
Right.
against Fuck My Chungus Life.
Could be competitive, but I just tend to think MED has, especially. Does MED have Happy and Pelly in person now?
Yes.
Yes.
Not
didn't
in
they
person.
come like last
I don't think they're in
weekend or something?
person.
On ping
Really?
though.
I
They're,
thought-
they're,
They're
they're
on
in the States.
Oh, okay,
They-
okay.
Are they?
Yeah, they are,
Are they
in the
with?
States, right?
Well,
but
maybe
they're
not
not, like-
every M80 play together player is together in the States, but at least they're all off ping. I mean, that in person is
ping, yeah.
nice, but getting off ping is like
Everyone's
really,
low
really
ping, correct? Everyone's low ping though. So that's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
so
so
I
I got
think-
Pelly and Happy. Those are my
Yes,
boys. I got them going a very
easily.
long way. So yeah, M80 for me.
Oh, wait till Jake has to choose between those two in merit.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good. All right.
I mean, I think
let's,
Toronto's clearly the favorite, even between those two. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Let's go to the lower bracket first. Let's go Citrus Nation against Pip. What do you think?
I'm a juice head now. I've been converted to a juice head.
Lethal
I'm
and
a
Tap have been
squeezer.
sick. Citrus has
squeeze
been
head.
pulling upsets for a long time. At this point, I think it's high time although I clearly easily pred Toronto over them, it's not to cast shade on Citrus. I think they are a pretty serious contender against anyone but Toronto, perhaps. So I think
Avro?
Citrus.
Yeah, I'm a juice head now. I'm a
Yeah,
juicer.
I mean, why not? Make it through the lower bracket, make a good run after being Timus 3-0. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I
think
mean,
they could go far in the lower bracket. I would be. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I'm really excited to watch that Toronto match. I really want to see. I mean, like to see Sparks of Life, to see Citrus take a map or something would be huge. I think they look like a really serious contender if they can even make it competitive against Toronto.
yeah.
Because to be fair, it's not bad to play for second in this tournament. Like you might still be able to qualify with a second. Even and then who knows? You never know with team like Citrus. I do think Toronto is just my pred to win it all. I think they're like they're kind of a tier above the rest of NA right now, but who knows? There's always that chance on match day.
AVRL can confirm that I lost my fucking mind yesterday when Citrus Nation beat out Timeless. Like I was actively losing my mind. Not only because Timeless got beat, but because of my huge Citrus Nation head. I'm a squeezer. Big Citrus head.
Big
We were trying to
squeezer.
come up with a
I'm a
new
big
tagline
squeezer.
for the team. He's like, you know what?
Squeezer is good. I like that.
I'm a big
Squeezer.
squeezer.
Who's that juice?
Okay. So now we have to do Luminosity versus M80, right? Before we can.
Well, I say that I feel really bad about Pip going out in the first round because I genuinely think that is a really good team. And if this were power rankings, I would have Pirates in Pajamas over Citrus Nation. I think Chronic is really sick.
Interesting.
I think Strider is good as well. I think Pip is a really good team, and so I'd actually
That's
have
fair.
them.
That's fair. I do think
Citrus Nation.
this could be a very competitive match. I just think, I mean, I guess it just hinges on one key question, which is, did Timeless Giga throw or did Citrus hit a new level? If it's
They played great. They had great engage and disengages.
But
Jacob
like,
has some
based on
bad
results,
moments, but he had a really good game, I thought. And I'm a big Jacob fan, as we all know. I
Jacob
think
Lyons.
Lethal is a really good damage player.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, Leaf was really good. He was kind of carrying.
And Seb was out playing Riker in the Orisa matchup. So, All right, let's go Citrus Nation. We're all squeezers here. Who is Goldfish? Yes,
Chungus
FNCL.
Live, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah, there's
Who's
no
Goldfish?
shot, unfortunately, for Goldfish.
It's probably my 8th seed for this.
Yep. I think that's only fair.
Then it's Seeker versus PGE in the bottom.
Again, a rematch, baby. That's
Yeah,
what
let's
I
do this one first.
Yeah, Luminosity versus M80. This is tough. I think these teams could be really evenly matched.
with that.
I tend to I just feel like
Especially
Happy Pelican, if that doesn't give them a huge boost, that would be a huge bad problem for this team. But I think I sort of like gamble on that. I think Pelican has been looking really, really good. Like watching it, his tracer has been super sick, as good as I've ever seen it.
That's on
So-
ping.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We've seen him. I feel like on
So-
ping, he has looked really sick. So for me,
So-
that is like there's a real potential. He just carries the game.
For him to be that good on ping, he's got to be a monster off ping. Like, I
Yeah,
Pelican might be one of the top. Is absolutely.
It's
one
more
of the
like
top
it makes
players in the
it. I
region.
feel like it'll just be more consistent. Like ping doesn't necessarily cut your top end potential, but it does make you less consistent because you like die for stuff you like shouldn't have really died to, but because of the ping. But your killing potential isn't so much better. But I think that should be it should stabilize the team a lot to have. But even, I mean, it's funny because like even on Pelican on ping, it's not like he was dying. He was just carrying and not dying. So I was like, I don't know, maybe the ping, maybe he like can't do more. He was still playing well even on the ping. So maybe the like getting off ping won't change much because he already was playing super well. I'm curious. I guess that'll be interesting to see. Does he have an even higher top end, or is the team is he just already doing well and the team is sort of middling for other reasons? I think maybe this will be the moment for M80 to really kind of banish the doubters if this is the map. They can do
I
that on.
did think they were middling for other reasons. Like, I did feel like in some of the M80 games, like, I don't know, you guys remember the M80 Pip game? Pelican there were definitely moments where Pelican had to bail the team out. Like, the team was struggling, and if Pelican doesn't bail you out right now, M80 lose. So for that
Pelican
reason,
is constantly bailing you out on high ping. It's
I
he's not going to bail you out twice as much on low
I
ping.
totally see like Johnny's position on like Pip, where like that Pip game was really impressive. But the M80, like, I want to believe M80 on low ping. It's only 2 players on low ping, but it's 2 important players on low ping should be really, really good. But they got like, I don't know, this is not a very clean looking team. Like, they definitely have a lot of rough edges on the team where they depend on the Pelican carry way more often than they should. I don't know if maybe Happy will play a lot better on low ping, because I actually didn't really feel like Happy was on like a super high level in any of the games I saw. Like, especially when you compare him to Merit, and that's got to be the comparison, right? Because M80 is trying to catch up to Toronto, and Merit is like the guy in hit scan right now in NA that you have to measure up yourself against, and Happy has to measure up against Merit, and I just don't feel like Happy was that impressive in any of the M80 games.
I agree with you, but I also feel like one thing we also forget, it's not even only the ping, but Happy doesn't seem like the most enthusiastic morning person to me. So the fact
not
that I have
happy.
to
True.
wake up
That's
at
actually
like
so
6
true.
a.m. and play hit scan against some of the best players in the world, like maybe that doesn't just, Happy doesn't wake up immediately and just like, oh, I'm playing my best game at 7 a.m. right now. That's my perfect
that's actually
state
very real.
to play the game. So
I feel like that matters more than ping. For hit scan is like the least significant ping roll, so it's the one it matters the least to be on high ping. I think of every hero in the game. So, but I mean, obviously it always matters, but it's
And either way,
it'd
he
be-
didn't look super impressive. So maybe
there's
this
not
is
so
waste
much
of time, but
instant spell reaction for hit scan compared to most heroes. So I think, yeah, but I think it's fair to say, but Johnny said that like maybe it is the time zone could be a major part of performance. I think that hurts maybe worse. on hit scan.
I'm much more enthusiastic about getting afternoon happy than 7 a.m. happy.
Yeah,
So
or
I
more
think that's
better
gonna
to
be a
get
big
afternoon
difference
happy
maker.
than low ping happy is like he can still hit headshots on high ping.
Yeah. So I think EMEA are the second best team in the region until proven otherwise. But Luminosity has a chance here to grab the second place spot for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over to the lower side of the bracket. We got Luminosity down against Citrus Nation. Probably Luminosity, guys.
It's Luminosity, yeah.
they 3-1
Yeah, I mean,
them
Luminosity's
before.
a favorite, but I do think we have to
They
sort of
seem
take
to-
serious. I don't want to change the pred. I think we have to take seriously the possibility of Citrus upsetting this. I think this is. I don't think this is gonna be a 3-0. I think this will be at least closer than that.
Yeah,
We'll
the
see,
last game
we'll
was a 3-1, and Luminosity went 3-2 versus Timeless. Now, you could argue that Timeless played better in that series than they did versus Citrus, or maybe Citrus just played way better. But, yeah, I mean, I think Citrus will put up a good fight here. I mean, they could even win. Like, I could even see a world where Citrus really pull through here and Luminosity don't play up to standard. But Luminosity should be on paper the favorite, right? So
I'd love to see it, but I guess we're a respectable podcast now. So,
we're going to
Luminosity
respect
it
the
is.
favorites. We'll put the
Yep.
favorites ahead.
yep, the boring pick. Luminosity advances. Students of the
So-
game against FMCL then.
There's no all yeah here that we're just launching to the end of the top four. So
Well, it could be Seeker's team if we really wanted to.
Should probably take Students the game of FMC.
Yeah, you take Students of the
They
game.
played in groups, right? And then students won.
Yeah,
or did
Students
they...
the game 3-0.
So yeah, I mean, this is like sort of when you rematch a team that just 3-0'd you, we gotta pred them.
Yep.
I do think on paper this team should be more evenly matched, but they did get 3-0, so in the end probably gonna lose again. They've got to find some kind of change in entropy.
Yep. And we're all Students of the game fans here on the podcast, so not
students
too
in top
surprising.
four.
Yep.
Easy.
All right. So I think this leaves Toronto, EMEA, and Luminosity as the ones advancing, unless Students of the game wins the entire thing. But again, you can pretty much assume based on circuit points who will make it to Dallas. But Luminosity against Students of the game. How do you guys
Probably
feel?
take Luminosity, but again, I think a lot of these lower bracket games, I feel like these are pretty contested spots. I don't think this is an
Especially
easy. I don't
now.
think we can. This is like a confident favorite type match.
We are extremely close. I don't think
Yeah.
there is a chance Students the game win that, but
I
would take
see Luminosity
Luminosity.
as
I think it's
maybe the
safer bet.
favorites. Their recent performances have been strong, but students have also looked really strong recently. Too close to call. Like the only reason students are in the lower bracket, and we didn't talk about it much, is because they play Toronto.
Yeah.
They're on the same side of the bracket.
Right.
So I could easily see students being top 3.
All right. We got a big boy matchup right here. How much does Happy and Pelican
No,
in
this
the
is
United
obviously
States?
Toronto's the favorite. This has to be
Yes, they have
very
a
strong
big boy
favorite
matchup.
for Toronto.
He's trolling.
Especially
No,
because
I'm not
M80
trolling
made
though, because-
roster changes.
okay,
They're
here's why I'm not trolling. I think Happy and Pelican on LAN, if these boys were to go head to head in Toronto, I think Happy Pelican is the better DPS line. So I don't think it's,
I think
a
that's
landslide.
fair, but I think someone's probably a stronger tank to build around, more flexibility. I think the support line is stronger for Toronto as well.
To me, it's not even like an individual one-to-one call here. To me, I just think Toronto's showed like more cohesiveness and teamwork. They've had less sloppy games. All their officials, especially recently, have just been like super solid. They don't look like have any holes. I've seen their scrims as well, super solid looking. M80, I've seen some of their scrims, especially versus Toronto. I've seen the matches. And that 3-2 game versus Pip like did not give me a good impression of like the cohesiveness of the team in terms of the cleanliness of play. Yeah, the team.
There's
just
no
isn't-
doubt in my mind that Toronto 3-0's Pip. To put it another way.
I think I don't know if this is a hot take. I think Toronto probably even 3-0 M80. I think they're just that better as a team right now in terms of the overall team structure, not even just on an individual level. They already have better pieces in certain positions. You could argue maybe M80 have better pieces in other positions, but the team is just better regardless of the pieces.
I want to see this match. I think this is like the match to watch of all of NA is like, can M80 upset this? But
Right.
I think until we see a team take a map off Toronto in a match, like in an elimination game, you know, I just feel like we can't be betting against them. And at this point, you know, like I think if there is a team, M80's got to be the most likely team to threaten them since they've been retooled. You know, having Happy in the roster, and I think that's really big for them. But like you said, they've shown a lot of rockiness, even with what should be on paper a really strong roster. No one has looked as clean as Toronto.
I think NA is the most clear region in terms of who the top team is and who everyone else is. Every other region's like, yeah, it's just Toronto, really.
I think NA is very tight outside of number 1. Like 2 to 5 is pretty tight. So even 5, 6, 7, like pretty tight. Yeah, maybe top 5, 2 to 6 is tight for me. And then number 1, I agree, is like by far at least from what we've seen, by far the biggest gap.
I think Toronto is definitely the better team. You know, based on literally everything, I think Toronto is definitely the better team. But I do think that people should not be quick to just dismiss M80, because I can definitely see, I have like a clear picture in my head of me and Jake in the studio watching Toronto against M80, and Happy and Pelican have just showed up like just dominating the lobby and just take over the lobby and give Merit and Sugar Free the absolute smackdown. And maybe Vega has like an Ajax here and there, and suddenly M80 are up like 2-0, and you're like, holy shit, what is happening to Toronto Defiant? Like, the Happy and Pelican taking over an NA reality, it exists. Like it is actually a reality. So I'm not dismissing M80. I'm not going. I think in retrospect, that one series against Pip is probably going to be like like a throwaway series. Okay, we move on. That was a shitty series. Move on.
I am a bigger Happy fan than most people in the world. However, I don't think we could write off Merit as like, oh yeah, Happy's gonna take over. That's a clash of titans right there. That's not no one's pushing over that series. I'd be very surprised if either of them can run away with the series. Because when you're both that good at hit scan, the kills come so fast that like a lot of it is on your team. Like a lot of it is on who's pressuring the other team more. Like if one hit scan gets to free fire uncontested for 3 seconds, they're gonna win. Like because they're gonna kill the other one so fast that you know it's there's a lot of team play involved in that. So for me, I don't know. I don't think this is not like some huge skill gap where you're gonna see like hit scan Terminator just running at you over and over again. That's not. These players are both too good. They both know each other are so good. I don't think either of them is gonna like try to take over the game, because honestly, you're more likely to throw if you like int on the other hit scan. At a high skill level, you're more likely to feed doing that. So it's gonna be more like, I don't know, team pressure that decides that matchup for me.
I do think M80 has like some of the most untapped potential in NA, which is weird to say because they're already one of the best teams. But like based on the peaks of where you imagine the roster could be, I still think M80 are nowhere near that. So they have a lot of potential left to go through in terms of gears to shift. That's probably that's a good sign in a way, where like they can still get to that level and be super competitive. And by the time we see them next week, maybe they'll have moved up a fair distance just from having people on the right time zone and lower ping. Like I think that will help a lot, even just beyond the mechanics of the game, right? So
that's a good point.
We'll see.
They've just got the structure and back in. I'd give them a 3-1 if I had to give them a scoreline, but yeah, I just still think Toronto's just so good. They're a cut above the rest. Every single map they play is just insane.
I'm ready for the OWL players to show up and
I'm waiting for Korea to show
M80.
up and actually just pound the fuck out of the EU and NA.
Yo!
It's gonna be a good time.
I've come to accept the reality. I don't see that. I wanted to believe in EMEA and NA, and I could just watching the Korea matches. I'm like, okay, well,
it's just higher level. It's just higher level.
Yeah,
this is a higher level. So maybe you kind of need to high roll the meta. I think that's the scary thing.
Toronto, I think are the only team that could stand up against the Korean teams.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the only team that looks as clean, as dominant, and as clean and as flexible.
Are we locking in M80 being Luminosity and then?
Yeah,
I would think M80 is a favorite, but like once again, for me, that 2 through 6 seed is actually really tight in NA. I really could see any of the top 6 teams. I would be most surprised. I mean, Pip, I'd be surprised, frankly, and then Ku's Goldfish, I would be giga surprised if they do well. But like, so for me, there's like a tier break after 1, there's a tier break after 6, and there's a tier break after 7 for my strengths. But I think 2 to 6, I don't know who's going to be there. Maybe M80 is like maybe a little bit higher, but their results haven't been as dominant as you would have expected them to be, as we just said. So I think You know, maybe we would be more confident in those for me in like that number 2 pred if they had a more dominant win over Pirates. But without that, I think there are more questions to be answered. I think even teams like Luminosity, Students, Citrus, FMCL could be threatening on name value.
And then I guess we're like pretty just sold on Toronto being EMEA, right? So
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
the
I
bracket.
Yeah. All
be
right.
a nice
No,
little rematch, but
no funny business this time, Solomon. Go ahead and
I
press
hate
the button.
funny business. You guys should know this.
Here's
about
my
me by
funny
now.
business. This is
Funny
gonna be in the
business-
screenshot.
Oh, that is great, Avril.
That is
Love
screenshot.
that. Support all of that. Beautiful.
let it in.
I love it. All right. Well done. We wrapped up EMEA, wrapped up NA. And this is part of the show where Avril and a little bit of Jaws get to showcase.
I've been slacking on the other.
It just no Jake, no reinforce.
What do you
Just-
mean? I have an opinion about. I
No, put Jake
think
on
there's
mute.
significant differences between the Asian teams.
Okay. All right. All right. Jake will spend the entire bracket
I don't-
shitting on Pacific and Japan. But we
That's
no,
true.
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
will do
kidding.
that,
I'm kidding.
actually.
I'm kidding. But you know, I was hoping I could squeeze out like a VRL take from VRL take from Jaws as well. But you know, given that you're our
Yeah, Jack. Which Japanese team is going to beat Crazy Raccoon and Falcons?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, I don't think
Oh.
that's gonna happen.
We
I
had
do
our
not
fun,
think
guys. We had our
Detonation Focus Me. That's the team. That's the one, guys. That's the one.
This is a
Zenit
really
division,
hype
Zenit
event,
division,
though.
guys.
All right, I'm curious to see the bracket though. I want to see who plays who.
Yeah, this is a really hype event though, because this is all the regions in Asia coming together. So
On LAN.
you got
on land.
yeah, you got 3 Korean teams plus Yeti from the wild card. And then you got 2 Pacific teams, 2 Japanese teams, and the top 2 will qualify for Dallas. And of course, there's some Esports World Cup placements here as well.
Top 4 go to World Cup.
Yep.
And if Korea or Asia wins Dallas, then number 5 from this tournament also goes to World Cup.
So it's
So fifth
actually a
seed.
serious dogfight among the other 4 teams to be fifth.
Exactly. Yeah, 5th seed fucking matters here.
Which
Yeah.
I mean, even the other teams could have a huge gap between them. I feel like there's so much. This tournament is going to be one of the highest variance tournaments maybe we've ever seen in OWCS. Like I think the top 4, the Korean teams are going to omega stomp everyone. I don't think there's.
I'm
any
actually more
competition.
confident about my Preds for the bottom 4 than I am for the top 4. Like, I think I have a very good read on the bottom 4, but the top 4 could be very interesting. So
I'm just most confident in which are the top 4 and which are the bottom 4. I agree. Beyond
that part,
is-
I'm
is
confident.
more
I'm also confident in that
chaotic.
part.
But that's
But I-
that's my
I
most
think-
important take is the
Yeah.
top 4 and the bottom 4 are very different.
Yeah.
There's 2 team
Um,
breaks between those.
It's interesting because there's no exact 5th. So if you actually look at the way the bracket is, because it's double Elam bracket, there's no game to decide 5th and 6th. So 5th and 6th are both like just
What?
they just so the lower bracket quarterfinals is the 5th and 6th game, but they don't play each other. So if you lose, so if you win, you go to top 4, right? But if you lose, you just finish 5th and 6th and you don't play each other. But we've also
Is
just
it just who
established.
was higher seed that or who lost to a better team that
But we don't
gets-
know. But we don't know what the qualification is from EWC in terms of 5th seed. So the
Yeah, I
5th
feel
seed
like
is,
that's
comes from this. But what is the parameter? Like, are they taking like, better win rate, better like
That's
map score?
actually
Like,
hilarious.
One of
We
the
actually
one of
don't
the,
know.
the way you should do it. I mean, the way you should do it is just play another match to determine who's 5th, 6th.
yeah, but they don't have it
or
in the,
just the Esports World Cup or whatever.
they don't have it in the schedule to play that.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. But is there actually an Esports World Cup qualifier from this? Is that
So if you
like
go
from the
up,
5th? I mean,
only if Korea win. Only if I say Korea, Asia, which is Korea, if they win,
they win
Dallas, then the 5th seed from Asia gets to go to World Cup. So whoever
Yeah, I
you
feel
get
like
one more
that's-
spot for your region.
Honestly,
Yes.
I would love to see Esports World Cup after the tournament is over. Take the 5th, 6th. If that happens, like after Dallas, take the 5th, 6th teams and play a show match, or not a show match, a match to
totally.
determine who goes to the Esports World Cup. I think it would be really bad for that to be decided by some weird like mathematical thing, like
the
that you
most
didn't get to
fair,
play each
the
other
most
for
fair
the
is to
qualifier.
play each other. Correct. The most fair.
and you could just do it like a month later. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
I
have
would like them to
be-
do it here. Like, it'd be good if they could just do it here, but it's like it's not.
But you don't
built in
want
the
to do it
schedule.
unless a Korean team wins, which might be likely, but like, I don't know. I think it's weird to force, given that
Because you
it might not
could
be
on the
necessary.
final day, because it's a double elim, and I think on final day there's only 2 games, right? So you could just fit in an extra game on the final day for that. But I don't know. You'd be doing it specifically for the World Cup, and just like WDG would just be doing a huge fucking favor to FACEIT in that way, right? So WDG would have to want to do that for FACEIT.
We'll see. I
Which
just
is-
think they should just play it at a later date. It's no big deal. Only do it once you realize you have to do it. We don't know who was 5th because we didn't play a 5th-6 qualifier. So we're going to play one more match between the 5th-6 teams to determine who makes it to World Cup. That's just like anything else would really be a travesty. What is it going to? Oh, like, you know, you had more points in the Swiss stage, so you're going to be 5th place and go to the World Cup.
Well, you
other
could
teams
look
go
at
home.
map differential in this tournament, but it wouldn't be as nice as doing a
But
5th-6
those
game.
those data points are really flawed too, because it's so much like what teams did you
I
play?
agree
like,
with you. I'm just saying, like,
you
they're-
should.
if
It
they
would
wanted
be
to be,
really
if they
sad
wanted
if
to be
they
lazy,
qualified through math.
if they wanted to
instead
be
of a
lazy
match.
and not, it's not even just laziness. Like, you'd have to, I guess, if you said, look, guys, you have to play 5th-6, I think the teams would say, fuck it, we'll play it, because it's for the World Cup. You're not going to refuse playing that, right? So they'll do
No,
it.
the
But I
teams-
mean,
I think both teams would probably agree, unless the team who's like, oh, well, we should qualify because we won one more map against the team that's dominated us. It's like, I don't know.
Then if
I would
FACEIT
hate to see
FACEIT
this
says-
decided by math.
if
when
FACEIT
it's
says
a
you have to
qualifier.
play, it's not like they can just be like, no, we're not playing, you know? Well, just fuck you, then the
Agree,
other team
agree,
goes. So, like, they're going to have to play. So, yeah, it's a very interesting situation. So, I like that because, I like the fact that 5th seed is very important for this tournament, or rather 5th-6 seed is very important for this tournament. Otherwise, I mean, it's very clear who the top 4 and bottom 4 are. Like, it's kind of boring, right? You want there to be more stakes for the other teams, and with the extra potential, the extra seeding not guaranteed, Korea does have to win Dallas, which they would be favorites for, but not guaranteed. Yeah, makes the bottom 4 super exciting. So I like that a lot. But I'm ready.
Bracket.
Ready when Johnny is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the official tool, so let's see. Maybe
Imagine
it's
if
a paint
Solomon-
job.
Imagine if Solomon had it for the other regions, and
Oh my
Asia's like,
God.
nah. Fuck.
So to clarify what we're saying about the top 4, and let me know if you don't agree with me 100% on this, Avril, but that the top 4 are the 4 Korean teams, and the bottom 4 are the not 4 Korean teams.
Correct.
To be
I'd
100%
be, dude,
correct about
I
it.
think everyone would be crazy to disagree with that. Everyone would be
Yeah, I feel like
insane.
that's one of the most vanilla Preds of all time. That the 4 Korean teams are just way better.
Let's just put all the 4 Korean teams just move them all forward right now.
I just
put all
wanted
the
to
4
say
Korean
it out
teams forward.
loud in case anyone viewing is like, who do they mean is to the top 4? The Korean region is by far the strongest, in the world, and so every other
On the
region.
gamer.
Although the difference between Korea and Pacific and the other teams here is like a bigger difference, I would say, than Korea and NA or EMEA.
It's like I would have said, like, okay, top of Pacific, top of Japan, top of VARL, it basically is VARL. How do they go up against like 9th seed Korea, you know? And that would still be a dogfight. These guys versus 9th seed Korea, which is why am I blanking on the team name? It's what are they called again? Vesta Crew. That would still be tough, man. Like I don't even know that top Pacific, top Japan could necessarily beat Vesta Crew genuinely. Because Vesta's Crew still put in some, you know.
Best recruit
They-
didn't win a single
They did
map.
not
Who have they
win
got on
one
their
map,
team?
so I would say that might be competitive. But
No, but in not winning a map,
Who's
they
on that
still
fucking
you can
team?
still see the mechanics, you can still see the team play, and it was still cleaner than anything I saw in Japan or Pacific.
yeah, that's true.
Even what Vesta did on the visually looked cleaner to me, so eye test wise. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
I
they
think
don't.
it's-
That's like beyond what they need. They need to clear Yeti, which just I don't. It's not happening.
which means it's impossible. Which is basically
Yeah, yeah,
impossible.
yeah.
Like if they're not,
Agreed.
if I question their ability to clear number 9, they're not clearing number 4.
I am really curious about your Preds for this lower bracket though, Avril, about DAF versus VARL. I will say, isn't VARL the clear favorite there? And I don't know the other 2 teams honestly.
Does anyone
Let me
else want to
focus.
chime in, or should I just do this? I have a pretty
do it.
confident.
This is your wheelhouse actually. I watch Korea, but not these games.
Okay, so put Honeypot ahead of Insomnia first of all. And so Honeypot won a Pacific, Insomnia came second in Japan, and Insomnia coming second in Japan are still like a tier below VARL. Like VARL are like the Toronto Defiant of Japan, right? You can easily tier break below VARL, and every other team in Japan below VARL is just not even close, not even within the same tier. So Honeypot are definitely way better than Insomnia, that's clear. I think that's a 3-0 even. DAF versus VARL's.
I did look up the World Cup last year. Team Japan, they did beat France, which has some players like Nico, Pac, Benbes, Poco, FD God, Natlock. So
Easy
let's just say
pickings,
maybe
honestly.
VARL is like as good as Team Peps, and call it a day.
Well, I wouldn't say they're as good as the current Team Peps. The current Team Peps right now in EMEA
Okay,
is
fair enough.
much stronger.
A bad Peps. Their
Like a
VARL
worse,
is
like a
poison
worse
bad
Peps, yeah. Like
They're
yeah.
as good as a bad variation of a mediocre EU team.
What
Val
does
and
that say
DAF
about
have
their
a
legacy?
ongoing rivalry because these two have played each other plenty in Pacific contenders, and the ongoing rivalry has been pretty one-sided, where DAF has won every single time. So I think VARL have improved, but I think DAF are still the favorites given their history against VARL is that they've won more. And I think DAF also are very stacked in terms of, particularly on the DPS line, Ace and High Vision, these two tie DPSs. It's like you created Patapan and just like cloned them into two more players in Flex DPS and Hitscan specifically. And just like, here you go, here's two more Patapans for you. So yeah, those two guys are very, very exciting. So they're the standouts on that team for sure. I think DAF is a really good, a decent team. So I do think both Pacific teams are better than both the Japanese teams, unfortunately. Unfortunately for Japan. I wish Japan... I want to root for Japan really badly because like, you know, their viewership is good and I think the region is trying to lock in at the moment, but I think it will take a couple seasons, you know.
Rooting for Japan is rooting for Crazy Raccoon.
True. Big true. Japan is Crazy Raccoon.
Which now you're talking. Now you're talking about
Let's go.
a good team to root for.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone else had any thoughts on lower bracket, but that's how I would do lower bracket right now, me personally. But I think the DAF VARL game is close. I don't think it's like a wipeout. VARL could win as well. Like it's close enough that VARL could actually also win.
But that's fair. Based on past results, we probably expect DAF to be the favorite.
Yeah.
And then let's look at that upper bracket. Falcons versus Yeti.
The upper bracket will be really entertaining. Like this is the stuff we will go back and watch photos.
These games are all going to be close. I feel like we can pick favorites based on past performances, but I think all these teams are elite. Like what's scary is that
amazing. We'll see these four teams again.
This four, for me, what's crazy is like I don't know. Like, is there any team on any region that is clearly above any of these four? I feel like these are
Toronto's closest, maybe.
Maybe Toronto.
Like that's what I mean. Like, there's like Toronto / some of the top EMEA teams. It's like but I those matches for me, like they're on the same level, at least from what we can tell now. They're on the same level as like Yeti, who's the 4th seed coming here. I don't think. Well, maybe not. Maybe they're better, but I just. The Korean region is so competitive. We've seen upsets against even some of the best teams, and like the mid-table teams in Korea are still just insanely clean and strong and play tons of comps. And so it's just, yeah, I feel like I would take Falcons and Crazy Raccoon because they were the teams that made top 2 before. But I see all these games as potentially competitive based on the meta.
Let me say it like this. I think the first game I have some thoughts on, but the second game, Crazy Raccoon, aka Whack, have like handed FTG on their asses like every single time. Like I think their win record versus FTG is insane. They 3-0'd FTG last time. So if there is one game I'm confident in, pretty sure Crazy Raccoon will continue to just hand FTG on their asses. Just like that should be a very decided game. The Yeti Falcons game is interesting because Falcons have had a lot of ups and downs. You know, if you look at their past results, they've not been super clean. They've lost to teams. They've gone close to teams. Yeti nearly beat them. Yeti did beat Whack / Crazy Raccoon. So Yeti have like this insane peak that they can reach. Like Falcons. Okay, to be fair, Falcons only really lost to Whack. But if you look at their map results, and a lot of this is probably down to the fact that like Korea plays the loser map pick, game mode pick. Falcons drop it. Look, they drop maps like every single series for the past 5 series in a row. Right? So, well, Falcons are not like a super clean team. I would say they're still favorites just because they literally won Korea 4-2 against Whack not that long ago, and they had a 3-0 lead, by the way. I would also say that Falcons are a much more versatile team with better hero pools, especially on like tank. Dongak is pretty limiting on the team. Dongak is very good on his specific picks, but Yeti are basically like the Hangzhou Spark of the region, right? Like they have super high mechanical skill. Mechanic-wise, they can match any of the other 4 teams. They can match Crazy Raccoon Falcons easy on the mechanics. But as a team, they're far more limited on hero pools, which like puts them into a weird spot. And also, like, we're very Orisa-pilled right now, and Korea is not immune to that. Korea is also very Orisa-pilled. So Yeti are in kind of trouble there because Yeti is true, and Johnny loves Orisa, and Yeti they're not the best Orisa team. I feel like this is a team that wants to play Doom, wants to play Winston. They want Dongak to be on his good heroes like Ball as well. They do not want him to be on Orisa. So Yeti are probably going to struggle just on the Orisa alone. Therefore, Falcons probably better.
Yeah, they're not a poke team. They want to play dive. But it is Asia, so, you know, there's a possibility of just everyone playing dive inexplicably. But I agree. Yeah,
I was actually going to say the same thing, and I was like, is that actually disrespectful? It's like, no. They
I mean, they've done it.
Dive.
Asian teams have done it before. Korean teams have done it before, but I don't think any, like, especially I think Falcons is like, they're going to play what they think is the strongest meta. I think they're a team that is not going to fall into the trap that some teams have fallen into before of like oh, just play this because we're good at it. We don't need to worry too much. It's like, no. Falcons is a team that's going to rock the most broken meta strategy they can rock. I have confidence in Junkbuck that he will make them play the most broken comps possible.
I can tell you Falcons and FTG are both going to run a shit ton of Orisa. Those are two teams that will play whatever the meta is. And then Yeti will try and probably off meta. Maybe they'll just like say, fuck it, maybe we just have to play some Orisa 2 and just lose. And then Crazy Raccoon are an interesting team that might try some Moon and Pavane might cook. Who knows? They're very interesting in that kind of way. But,
I do feel like that Winston dive though, it can work. There's a lot of maps. It seems actually. I think the Winston's meta on a decent number of maps too, like better than Orisa.
I just don't think Korea. I think the Korea dive like stereotype is true, but also a little bit overrated in terms of how much it's said. Because I've seen every Korean game, and I've like right now, I think Korea is way more Orisa-pilled than people give them credit for. People assume, I don't know, I think there's a community narrative, not even just what you guys said, but everyone out there just like, oh yeah, walks into Korea, everyone's going to play Winston. It's like, no. They're going to play some Orisa, and you're not, be ready to see Orisa at LAN, is what I'm saying.
Well, historically it's been true, but maybe not right now. I wanted to ask you, AVRL, do you think that given the map select system in Korea, do you think that if you were preparing to play Team Falcons, would it be reasonable to just try to target the Illari maps and maps you think Summerjet would play Illari?
What do you mean target?
You know, for example, like maybe you pick like Midtown.
You want them to put Magenta? You're picking.
You want them to put Magenta in. Do you think that's a weaker version of Falcons you could try to like exploit?
Even if you did that, like Krusty and Junk don't have to put Magenta in, so I don't know. Like I think you're trying to bait Krusty, be like, oh, should we put Magenta in? Like I don't know.
Well, it's so you know they've done it in the past, and if what they practiced, then
from Falcons' perspective, though, I think they will definitely change up if that's like what's happening in the series. Like, oh, we picked an Illari map and they have a good counter to Illari, we'll just like not play Illari.
We've seen multiple mid-towns. We've seen multiple mid-towns for Falcons, and they've only played Magenta on it one time, and then they play Magenta one time on Yalto. So it's not even guaranteed. Even if you pick a Magid map, he might not get subbed in. Like, it's no guarantee at all. So
I don't think what Falcons thinks is the best roster against you. So like if you're planning the hard dive, they might not play him.
What I've seen, and this is I guess the most true for Yeti and reasonably true across the board, is everyone just seems to pick what they got on. So I actually think if you want to min-max, this is Gumba mode. My Gumba brain's spinning right now. If you want to min-max the drafting as hard as possible in terms of loser picks, you don't want to pick something like push straight away. Because the push pull and all that kind of stuff, like the pool of maps to choose from, like Flashpoint and push, is super fucking low. But yet we see in so many of these games, if you look at some of the game histories, it's like you just see like an Esperanza or like a Survasa like super early in the series for some reason. It's like, bro, what are these teams doing? They're just like picking these maps like way too early, you would feel. But it just happens. I think teams are way more willing to just play whatever they feel confident on. Hey, we have a good win rate on this map. Maybe we feel confident on this map. We can play our comp on this map. Yeti in particular are going to do that. They're going to pick Yeti's favorite maps, Esperanza and Survasa. They will, as soon as they lose map 1, instantly lock into Survasa, instantly lock in Esperanza, because they're like, we can play the Doom here. We can play our style here. And so, yeah, like in terms of map drafting for loser picks, teams definitely are geared towards picking their favorites rather than counter picking the other team right now.
Well, I think it's scary because you can be you have to do that if you're Yeti, right? Because if you don't pick Esperanza, the enemy team is going to pick Colosseo or something. They're going to take away your best map by taking a push that's not good for you. So like if you don't pick Esperanza, you're gonna play another push as soon as you win a map. Like, if you do win a map. And also I think emotionally, as much as rationally, it's like, oh, we're gonna go down 0-2 in the series, and then we have like our strategy to come back. It's like, you don't want to do that. That's usually not a good idea, especially in with how DM heavy Overwatch 2 is. Everyone has to be playing with confidence, and so honestly, getting a win on the board is like more important from my perspective.
You know what the problem is? Then Yeti get counterpicked and they get sent to Havana. Okay, great. You win Esperanza, we go Havana. You can't play Havana. GG's. Like, that is also the opposite problem, right? So it's like,
yeah, maybe that's true. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
In the end, I think you won't win against the elite teams if you're going to force one style and it's really obvious what maps you want to play. Yeah. That's a huge disadvantage at this level. Like,
that's why
Yeti really punished.
Yeti are probably unlikely to make Dallas if you want an early pred for me.
Then well, isn't top 4? I think Yeti will be top 4, no? Or no,
Dallas
you're right.
Is top 2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
EWC World Cup is top 4.
I mean,
was
yeah,
the
I
top
think
2.
Falcons and Crazy Raccoon. I do think both of these teams are like the obvious top 2 favorites. I think.
Let's send FTG and Yeti forward. I don't think anyone disagrees with that.
Agree.
They'll beat the
Agree.
pack team, so let's send them forward. And then this is the interesting talking point now because we just swap up
Mhm.
the matches.
I'm
Anyone
curious
else
what you
like
guys
to?
think, Johnny, Jack. I think these teams could be closely matched. I think a lot will come down to how the meta is looking. If teams are like leaning more towards a dive style and Yeti isn't really playing off meta, they're just playing dive as the meta and everyone's playing it. Could be great for them. Same for FTG though. If it's more of like a brawling style, then maybe the FTG is looks better. And this, I think this is going to be determined by sort of how the meta's leaning, and then some of these edge case maps where you could play dive, you could play Orisa, they're pretty close in win rate, and then those maps will determine the series. And then both teams will potentially be forced into really hard maps where they're like, you know, you're playing on Paraiso or something as from the gamer, and you absolutely must play Winston.
I mean, I'm pretty FTG pilled just because it, you know, recency bias, to be honest with you. If this is the case, you know, and Orisa is going to be played, then I have more trust in Bernard than I have in Donghack. So I'm pretty FTG pilled, so I'll probably go with FTG beating Yeti.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
that's
makes more
fair.
sense
I think
to
it's
me.
super winnable for both teams, but I think, yeah, probably I'd call the favorite FTG based
I think
on
they're
the
probably
meta being
better.
Orisa.
The meta alone is probably why I would lean FTG. If it was more open for like a Doom style, I think Yeti would have a chance here. Also, for whatever reason, Yeti's win record versus FTG is not good as well. Like this is like a team that seems like a bogey team for them. Yeti have the capability truly to beat like Falcons and Crazy Raccoon, but for some reason they can't get over FTG. But FTG will definitely one trick the Orisa. Like Bernard's a very flexible player. He'll play both the Sigma and the Orisa. I feel like Bernard's hero pool is just way better in the current meta than Dongak's hero pool. So that becomes a big problem for Yeti, and I think FTG. I'm just going to assume Korea is going to play very similar meta to everyone else. That's based on the fact that I've already seen the Korea games, the last ones they played, and it was already pretty similar to EMEA NA. So yeah.
I mean,
FTG probably
literally
goes
in
through.
both of the previous brackets, we made pretty like rational judgments. Just like, yeah, they're the better team. They're probably advanced, and I feel like the same applies here from the gamer. Like, nothing has really changed since they played each other last, and FTG beat them. So
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
even.
if you wanted to make a case for Yeti, it'd have to be like some like pretty significant upset based on something that has changed. And I just don't like the
just-
season 10 patch. Like nothing really did change. So I think you have to go FTG.
It's just hard to dude, I'm like a big Yeti fan. I really like this team.
Look, they're
It's
so
hard
fun, but yeah.
It's super hard to like back them in this meta when I know what their limitations are so clearly, and so does every other team. Every other team in Korea, probably Pacific, Japan, whatever, they're not gonna be. The Korean teams will beat Yeti, but whatever. Like everyone that Yeti will play against knows the weaknesses of Yeti, and it's super exploitable if you are the other 3 Korean teams, and that's honestly just the problem. So I can't even like try and find
I
a
think
pathway
Yeti
for
has
Yeti.
to use this time to prep and be ready to play some kind of brawl style on some maps. They can keep their strength, but they've got to have some. They have to be able to like meet the rush on the map that you just can't counterpick.
Otherwise, Havana's an auto L for you, and every team is going to pick Havana against you. So what are you going to do, right? You have to figure that map out, or
Even
whatever
Shambali is
map.
pretty rough.
Chambali as
like-
well. There's a bunch of picks out there that Yeti is almost an automatic loss on, so they have to figure that shit out.
I know
Even
it's not
maps
gonna
like
happen.
Dorado, I think like the Diva could own on, but I guess Dorado's still not bad. And you're not going to pick that escort, I guess, for you'd rather pick other. But even like I think Midtown is a pretty rough map for dive. Like there's a lot of maps that you're not going to be able to dodge every brawl map. There's more brawl maps than dive maps, right? So I think Yeti though, what I want to see is them like don't go lying down. Don't like stick to dive no matter what to the end. Have a few maps that you're like prep a Derisic comp, like play the mirror and be ready for it. Take like these few weeks and get ready for it, because I think not doing that is just a mistake for them. I think they if they accept that this is all they can play, I think they're like 20% chance to be top 2. But if they try, maybe it's still not great for them, but I think it's better than their odds of just not changing anything. So I would love to see them prep a dive or prep a rush style. Maybe it's an off meta rush, maybe it's like some ram rush or some cheesy like Bastion strat or whatever. Like, you know, you can cheese if you want to, but you've got to have something for these maps where the dive isn't really that good.
Right.
I'll give terrible advice. Unlike Jake, I'll give terrible advice and say, Donghack, fuck it, go ball and pick some ball maps.
Knife,
Hold on, the ball
go
is
jump
up,
rat.
It's not gonna happen, but fuck it, Donghack.
hard review every all year VOD and just do that.
Make it happen. Yeah, I got FTG beating Yeti. So.
And then Falcons Raccoon.
Here's the big game,
Another,
fellas. Here's the
like,
big game.
Nobody knows, but based on recency bias, Falcons probably win because Falcons won last time. But come on, like this is not an obvious match. These two teams are way too evenly matched for there to be confidence here. But I think if you literally had to decide, I feel like I would come for Falcons.
I want to go last. Want to go last.
All right.
Yeah, do you guys have thoughts before I say?
So, well, okay. So this is not a thought, but it's more like an ask. What do you guys think about like the Diva that was played
It's good.
in the grand finals they played previously?
Diva is part of the meta. One of the styles you can play in the meta.
Because we've seen a few teams like bring it out in EMEA and NA. I think it was M80 who actually brought out like the fucking Diva tour.
Where do you think
comp.
Diva's good though? Like, where is Diva actually good, Jake?
There's just certain maps that have a lot of backline rotation potential, and it's really hard for Orisa to actually catch your Bap, Lucio, and Cassidy, or Bap, Lucio, Sojourn, and that group of three can effectively kite around the map and not be caught by Orisa. And then Orisa has no kill target, and then she eventually runs out of skills. Like Diva outlasts Orisa, provided you have the Bap and probably the Torb or something like that. Like if it's like there's certain maps that you can just
What kind
be
of maps,
cheeky
though?
with your
What do you
rotation.
think?
You want a lot of rotation options. So that's just like there's not like one type of map where that's true. It's just every map is different, and the maps that have
'Cause-
good backline rotations available to the backline where they can effectively kite Orisa without going out of a choke and like giving up on the fight. Those are the maps where that's playable. It's
New Junk City,
It's
'cause
like
that was-
random Koth maps. I mean, it's like
that was-
I don't think Flashpoint.
Rialto and New Junk, I think they played it.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
where Hanbin played the Diva.
Yeah, so
specifically.
it'll be anywhere they think they can get away with a backline rotation style. But that's like random Koth points. There's very few maps I feel where you're gonna like 100% lock it in, but there's probably a few maps where you can lock it in the whole time. I think like Blizzard World might be a good map for it. There's not that many maps. I don't think it's like a dominant meta comp, but I think there's a good number of maps where you can play it, and then maybe the enemy team goes like Sigma poke, and you end up you either go a harder dive to punish the Sigma, or you match the Sigma poke and play a poke mirror if you're confident. I think that's the weakness of Diva. And then certain maps, the Orisa can just get to your BAP too consistently, and the Lucio can boop your BAP rotations, and so he can't successfully kite the Orisa, and then you won't be able to play the comp.
I got Falcons in this one. I got Falcons winning it, advancing as a top seed.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. There's a chance Crazy Raccoons can come in and upset here, but I think Falcons just top of the region. It's going to be tough. It's a tough game to call, I think. It's one of the best games of the tournament.
Yeah,
Like,
I expect this to be the grand
guys
final,
ready?
whichever way it goes.
Yeah.
I actually have Crazy Raccoon. Maybe a hot take.
I'm actually
Because-
jealous because rooting for Crazy Raccoons is actually way more fun than Falcons.
The reason why
Just because of the Japanese influence, which is not why you're probably doing it, but
I mean that is awesome. I would like to see Japan winning too in some sort of way, but no, that's not the real reason. I think the real reason for me is I think we are heavily leaning into some sort of like Orisa and like some harder hit scan, like not necessarily Soj meta. Like we're looking, I'm seeing a lot more cast generally speaking, and I just think Lip is the better hit scan compared to either proper or Stalker, but it's going to be proper playing hit scan. Let's be real. Lip is just a way more
please let it be
consistent, harder
proper
carry.
hit scan.
Yeah, it won't be Stalker playing hit scan. So and I mean this is, I think even proper agree. Everyone is pretty well known in Korea. Like Lip is just the best hit scan right there. He's going to be better than proper on hit scan. And so in an actual hit scan, we're playing a lot of casts. Lip is probably winning that, right? And then I still think Jimbin and Max's level right now is above Hanbin and Smurf. Even if we play dive, I'm actually trusting Jimbin over Smurf on that. If we're playing some Orisa, either Jimbin or Max. Actually, funny enough, I think they play more Jimbin Orisa than Max Orisa. But I'm trusting the Jimbin Orisa there. And you know, there's a decent amount of Lucio Bap in the pool right now. And with Lucio Bap, I actually really like Shoes Bap over Fielder's Bap. So we got that
He
as
was
well.
the best BAP in the world. He's a freak
yeah.
on that hero, actually.
So there's a number of reasons why I actually think Crazy Raccoon on the individual level have like much better picks in certain regards if we're going to go more towards the Orisa hard hit scan style. We're seeing more like Widowmaker play sneak in there as well. Like Lip has even been experimenting with more Widowmaker play as well. So he's been dominating on that pick. I think he'll be pretty unmatched there. So there's just a number of different looks that I think Crazy Raccoons are actually better than Falcons on. So yeah, hot take. I think based on current meta, maybe Crazy Raccoon's actually on top for me. I'm assuming we're just playing a bunch of Vrista.
All right, we got Falcons beating FTG in the lower bracket.
Are we putting Falcons ahead or Crazy Raccoons? Because I'm like 3v1 here. I'm the only one that said Crazy Raccoons, so I don't
This
actually
is
know.
where why I hate Preds, because I think this is like
It's a coin flip.
This is like a
I'm not super passionate about this one.
Okay.
Agreed,
But
agreed.
I think you are cooking, AVRL, but I don't think we can put Crazy Raccoon as the winner because they're cooking.
I don't hate the cook either, though. I mean, but like that's because I think this match is like very 50-50. It's
Still very
any
close.
given day.
Even
like,
after cooking.
The brackets we've done so far, we haven't cooked, and now we're gonna cook and reward it. So all of a sudden,
for me, this is the non-cooking bracket, but like, regardless, it's not even a cook. It's not even a cook. It's like there's real serious reasons to think Crazy Raccoon could be favored, but I think I just think the level of these players is so at this level. The difference between Lip and Proper is just not that big. Even if Lip is quote a better player, it's like this is you're talking about their like ranges are like marginally offset. Oh, you're
yeah.
2% more
AVRL, when you
consistent.
went like, oh,
it's
Lip is
so
about his scan
close.
versus Proper, I'm like, all right, well, come on.
I mean,
like,
that's what I mean. Like, I can kind of see what you mean. Okay, maybe Cassidy.
I'm not saying
is,
he
like,
dominated.
more
I'm not saying he's
comfortable.
gonna fucking shit on Proper. That's so you are
But
Jake. You're
I just
correct.
think
You are
that
correct. I
to
mean,
say who's better or worse at this level is like kind of a crapshoot for me. For most players on the team,
yeah.
maybe I think Shu is like better at the flex support, which is like emphasis that's supposed to carry, and Fielder is like his specialty is like true support on flex support. But so in the end, it's like the differences are we're talking about stylistic.
We agree.
differences in the
We
game.
agree. We agree.
Yeah,
I think I just need to make it clear to people listening that like if I say Crazy Raccoon in terms of who I'm favoring here, it's not like I'm saying they're going to 3-0 Falcons, right? This is a close enough game. Like I'm 55-45. Like, you know, the differences I'm talking about are pretty minuscule, but they exist in a way where like I think they might be tangible, which is why I put Crazy Raccoons ahead. But in no way am I like I don't think Crazy Raccoons are dominating Falcons here, right? That's no way that's happening. So
yeah, I don't hate.
They're close enough. They're close enough that it could go either way. But I lean Raccoons is what I'm saying.
I sort of buy it, even though it is a cook. I actually sort of buy it because the meta is leaning in ways that favor them. But in the end, the meta isn't. It's still too. Guys. It's like too chaotic. It's like this is exactly why I like get frustrated with Preds, because these Preds are totally meaningless, basically.
all right.
Jake's a tough customer when it comes to cook. So if he buys, I'm selling to everyone at this point.
Well,
so.
we'll go with Crazy Raccoons winning. Sorry, Sirius being loud, so I muted myself. We'll go with Crazy Raccoons winning, just in case their Twitter sees this picture, and that's what
They can retweet us, and we'll get a million
just for
impressions.
clout, just for
Right.
Crazy Raccoon
For the
clout.
I can always get behind a little good old fashioned cloud chasing. So
Yeah,
I'm with
shameless.
Johnny.
We-
If you're listening, this is shameless. I know, but
Are we saying that Falcons will definitely beat FTG? I think they'll probably beat them, but I actually think this is not like a super one-sided game because FTG have had traditionally quite close game versus Falcons. They had a 2-3 loss to Falcons in the Amalgamated. Okay, maybe Amalgamated asterisk. And then they had a 1-3 loss to Falcons in the actual like seeding matches as well. And I actually, for some reason, FTG play up very well against Falcons, and I don't particularly know why that is. But yeah, their history versus Falcons is like pretty decent. So if Falcons win, it'll be a dogfight. Actually, I don't think it's a clear like they're just going to destroy
no matter
FTG.
who's. I think even FTG Crazy Raccoon will be close. I just think.
Actually, no. I think FTG get wiped by Crazy Raccoon. The history of those two, Crazy Raccoons just destroy FTG somehow every single time. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're mentally booned by that, but in the end, I feel like the player strength is just actually relatively similar. Although I do think I would still go Falcons, the clear favorite.
I would go Falcons.
There's a chance for FTG
dogfight.
to upset, but I think it would be a big upset. I think if we're picking favorites, it's Falcons.
Yep.
Falcons just won. They just got number first seed, so it is a little crazy to pick Crazy
Falcons.
Raccoon.
Falcons did not have to go through FTG though in the playoffs bracket, to be clear. But yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, but why didn't Crazy Raccoon upset Falcons before they played the grand finals? They even, I feel like Falcons actually had like better swap game, better strategic read. I feel so maybe there's like some. Yeah, in the end, I'm losing faith in any level of cooking at this skill level. It's just like they're so tight. I do think Raccoon and Falcons have shown enough consistency to look like the favorites. Like I couldn't pred another team over those two.
No, I think there's a tier break. I think it's Raccoon Falcons tier break, or like either way, like Raccoon and Falcons together, then tier break, right?
Yeah.
So, which is why they're in the final.
All right. Is it a PLATCHAT certified?
I'm sort of
We picked the
regretting
winner?
the cook, honestly. I'm feeling the Falcons are just still the favorite for me since they won last time.
They win the whole.
Since that match really mattered. It's
Okay,
not
they're
like
both
Raccoon
in the
held
finals.
nothing
We
back.
can just agree they're both in the finals, right? Like how they get to the finals is like I cooked a little there, but they're both in the finals.
All
But
right.
in the end, the upper bracket
Executive
final
decision,
and the
we're
grand
picking
final are like the
Falcons.
same thing, right?
Boom.
You just spread the same way.
We're picking Falcons. Executive decision. PLATCHAT certified.
What about
Alright.
what about the crazy raccoons impressions?
I don't give a fuck. We're moving on. You had like 15 minutes to decide and you couldn't.
Okay.
So
I was trying to grab
At
the
this-
shirt. We pressed the button too early.
at that point we're good. We're good. And there we go. That's our three brackets for the region. Wait, what? This
which
is an
is-
old. This is an old
That's a good
throwback.
2023
That's a real
West
good
Plains
one.
bracket.
Yo, Boston has got
Wait,
this
same
this
shirt?
Asia tournament,
Wait,
man.
same
Boston
t-shirt
Uprising is gonna
again?
come out of nowhere.
Wait, same
Sponsor a
t-shirt for
team.
real?
Same t-shirt.
They're gonna
Oh
sign
my
Yeti.
God.
Same t-shirt. This happens a lot. I wear this. Yep.
Jack has
same
3
t-shirt.
t-shirts in his closet.
I do. I'm actually fucking Homer Simpson looking ass. Like fucking same white
Minimalist.
t-shirt, same blue jeans.
You got like
It's-
5 copies of the same white t-shirt.
There's an image. There's a Twitch clip of me wearing the same like light brown t-shirt. I still have it. I think I chose
Lock
it.
in.
But I have the same light brown t-shirt in like 3 different like years almost. It's fucked. It's so fucked. Hey, they're cheap. Although they're dog shit quality, I will say. Oh my god, I'm shopping at Uniqlo now, and my life has been fucking changed. My life has been altered by Uniqlo.
Just wait until you join me and Jake with the Lululemon clothing.
Hell
Let's-
I
yeah.
am
let's
not
throw
a
that.
fucking millionaire, bro. Like, I'm not shopping at Lulu fucking Lemon.
Just pretend. Anyway, let's go ahead and do
my
Bren's player of the week. We got any nominees? I mean, there's some spicy nominees for Bren's player of the week this past week.
just put Gator in there, right?
I was
I
gonna
was
say,
gonna say
Gators,
Gator, man.
please.
I like the
Actual
trash talk.
Gators
I like that they're
fucking
willing to
tweets,
put the
bro.
target on their back. Because now
like
anyone
it.
can trash talk them, and like that's the game they're signing up for. I don't think you'll see Gator crying about somebody coming to trash talk them if they lose. So
Yeah.
I
I'm
got
I'm down for.
bringing
I'm gonna
back
throw a
some
wild card.
banter to Overwatch. I got Gator as Blends.
It's probably going to be Gator, but I'm going to throw in a wild card. I'm going to throw in this guy behind me. Wait, which way? He's this way, behind me. But Jed got featured in the video
True.
at the Vegas Dome of the EWC
the sphere. The
teams.
sphere.
The EWC, yeah, the Las Vegas Fair, whatever it is, where like they're showing off all the titles that's going to be at the World Cup and associating a play with each title. So it's Counter Strike, it's Nico, League of Legends, Faker, and then Overwatch 2, Majed. That's our guy, Majed. He's the face of Overwatch 2. So there he is, right there.
Oh, this is the actual video. Wow.
Yep.
This is pretty sick,
They have
actually.
Faker
Like
on
I would
there.
love. It's cool to see an
They have
esports
Imperial
ad in
Howl.
the freaking Las Vegas
There he
sphere.
is. There he is.
This is
Oh.
probably the #1 most valuable advertising space in the world. No, maybe Times Square, but I think this is probably bigger because it's just one thing where Times Square is split into all these small pieces. This is like one of the biggest exposure moments for esports of all time.
They make so much bank from this.
How much does this
The
cost? How much
agency.
does this ad cost?
I don't
Seriously,
know, like all right, how much to rent the Las Vegas Sphere? I wonder if you can even find this on Google. I'm googling this.
probably like a
How
few
much
hundred
an ad
thousand.
spot, like an
Las
ad spot on
Vegas
Las Vegas Fair
Sphere.
must be unbelievably.
That's what I mean.
expensive.
It's got to be hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe more. That's actually too low. Maybe millions.
450,000 per day is the first thing that shows up.
Okay.
Sorry, my
I would
dog
even,
is freaking
yeah,
out.
like that doesn't surprise me. I would be
Okay, I'm
surprised. If
gonna
on
mute.
like a big night in Vegas, it's probably more. You're probably 450K is probably like a Tuesday. Friday night, it's gonna be a million.
Oh,
So
shit.
it took them roughly half the Overwatch's prize pool.
But it's for every game. I mean, it's a $60 million price.
It
pool.
was a joke. I know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was a joke. It was a joke. All right. I'm still giving it to Gator. I'm still giving
We'll give it to Gator.
Gator Brent's Player of the Week. But there you have it.
I want more trash talk in Overwatch. I don't
Yeah,
care if people
yeah,
hate
it's
it.
good.
I want more. And so
The
I'm gonna
coaches have
stand
been at
behind
it.
that.
They've been working overtime with the trash talk.
Yeah, the coaches are
Nice.
picking up the slack. The players are too scared getting their accounts banned.
That's why I like
so
Riker. Because Riker was spicy.
He's fearless, not scared. I like it.
Exactly.
I respect Riker. I respect Gator. Let's bring the heat. Let's
Yeah,
bring the heat
respect
back.
Riker.
It's esports, guys.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if any other players are willing to step into the ring for the main event, or if it's just going to be coaches and Riker. I'm probably forgetting about some players.
I will say you can't force it. I don't want people to just force it and talk trash every game. But when there's a little bit of like, you know, like the up and coming team beats all the OWL veterans, yeah, they should talk some smack about that, you know, and the veterans come back and, you know, the rookies got eliminated from the tournament. Yeah, they're going to take it right back. You know, I feel like this is a perfect organic moment of trash talking. It came out naturally. It's been fun. It's been fun to follow. And now this is the beginning of a rivalry. You know what I mean? Next time Timeless plays M80, you better believe people are typing in the chat. You know what I mean? Like, this is how you start banter.
I hope Timeless stick together.
It can't just be like, I talk trash to every single team I possibly play. Like, that's like also weird and uninteresting in another way. You know, it's like there has to be sort of or an organic, like, little bit of anger between these two teams when they play a match, or even when they scrim, right? These teams probably really want to beat each other. I think that's just sort of adds to some of the excitement of the competition.
Jaws, how'd the Balatro go?
It was good. I
Great.
lost a lot.
You're playing the newbie deck, man.
I mean, you just unlocked it, bro.
Hearts and spades? Oh, okay. I thought you were an addict like me and you've already played every deck. Like
No, I need to unlock one more deck. I think it's like need to complete something with orange chip. So
it's such a good game. Free ad.
It's very fun. Yeah. It's
Speaking of
the Balatro clones are coming out now. I don't know if you've seen. There's a fucking roulette one now as well. Like, I don't think it's as good because Balatro is like super fucking polished.
There's going to be a blackjack one, then a slots one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
even coming.
Balatro is the OG. Put respect on the name. The OG.
Speaking of ads, I'm going to use this opportunity real quick. Jake plugs his coaching services every week anyway, so I'll do mine this time. I don't have a coaching service, but I do want to plug the fact that I'm doing something special this week. I'm going to fly to Korea in 12 hours, roughly 12 hours from the recording of this. So this episode comes out later. So anyway, the point is, by the time people watch this episode, I'm probably actually already going to be in Korea. So if you're, I'm already going to be there. I'm probably already going to be streaming. So tune in twitch.tv/AVRL. I'm going to be doing IRL in Korea. So the Asia LAN, where all those teams that we just printed in the bracket, I'm going to be there live in the venue, doing my co-streaming, talking to the players, hanging out with them, doing IRL content, and just streaming the whole thing for 8 days. So come hang out. Hope to see you guys there.
Here's all I'll say, Avril. Well, first of all, best of luck to the stream. I hope everything goes well. I hope it bangs, and everyone appreciate it. I think it's really exciting. So I'll definitely check out the VODs after I work the main event. Second of all, Kanbu chicken. That's all I'm gonna say.
What's that? Say again?
You gotta check out Kanbu chicken. KKANBU chicken. All right. It was the hotspot for all the Apex players. Okay, maybe not the Korean ones, but the Western players, we all hung out at Kanbu Chicken. We got some Korean fried chicken, and we got some beers and fries, and that shit was the best.
If you get fried chicken in Korea, isn't it just Korean fried chicken by default?
Well, sure, but no, I mean, you know, for a second,
unless you get Kentucky fried chicken,
and they also do some dish where like they serve bugs, and so you know, if you want to eat some bugs, Kanbu Chicken, they also do some a funky dish where you can eat like live bugs or something. So that'd be good content. I mean, they serve it, so I mean, it's probably not bad for you. Well,
Jay goes to Korea all the time. What do you think of Kanbu Chicken?
I don't think I've had it, man. There's a lot of fried chicken places in Korea. Johnny's just weirdly nostalgic about one. I don't know that I haven't even heard of Kanbu Chicken, but I've seen like literally hundreds of like really good fried chicken places in Korea. I don't disagree. Get fried chicken in Korea, but I'm not convinced fried chicken is like this. There's only one place in Korea. Like, there's like 1,000 amazing fried chicken spots in Seoul. So I'd say you'll be okay. You'll be all right. Just get some Korean fried chicken, get some Korean barbecue.
Do it for me.
Try it all, man. Try all the local cuisine, even the non-barbecue stuff. Like get the soup, man. Korean soup goes crazy, actually.
Whatever we had on another level. Seth's wedding. You should get that one again, Avril. You remember when Swing?
Who was that?
I can't fucking remember what it was called.
Where does she order from? Swing's not even going to be in Korea. Swing's going to Japan when I'm in Korea, by the way.
Oh, that sucks.
I think she's in Japan right now. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. All right. This has been Plat Chat Balatro, episode 223. Enjoy the main event. Watch Avril's stream, and we'll see you next week to recap all the action and maybe a bit of a fun segment with a special guest. We'll see. TBD. I haven't actually decided yet. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Goodbye. Enjoy the Overwatch.
Balls, bro.